Did you remember any of the cheat codes, Rachel?
So I was remembering Quake cheat codes.
Oh.
And I was
I don't know if I
that's
remember
Quake.
the Quake ones.
I do. I remember you hit the tilde, and then you have to type in like God mode and like all the like fly mode and stuff like that. And like,
that's right.
and I'm like,
you literally
that's
typed
Quake.
it in.
Yeah, that's Quake.
Yeah.
And Doom, you have to go to the pause menu and you hit like the up and down buttons and like the left and right buttons and stuff like that. And like A, B or something. I don't remember. There's like letters that you press.
I remember. I remember two of them. Which I will go through.
Oh, this is very exciting.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't try it. Now I kind of want to try it on the emulator I have.
Of doing the
cheat codes.
The cheat codes?
Yeah, because I had looked at the cheat codes because I was like, is this the cheat code? I'm thinking, I'm like, no, I'm like thinking of Quake. Of course I'm thinking of Quake. Because I liked being able to fly in Quake.
I did not remember that. Because that was the big technological advancement from Doom to Quake. You could jump.
And I kept...
But if you put on fly mode, you could jump and you would stay in the air.
Go, and then you'd be like up in the air. I always thought it was fun. I do like the music, though.
What?
I really like the music, and then all of the sounds were very nostalgic.
The sounds were the thing that got me, because as a little kid, when you shouldn't be playing this, and you hear that,
yes,
or like any of them, really, like, yeah, that takes you back. Most of the sounds on a lot of the levels, though, outside of that first level, are like, whatever.
I mean, it's pretty similar.
Yeah, they're all kind of similar.
But even, like, just the opening of that door, and, like, everything, like, I'm just, like, I'm like, oh, my God, it's, like, so nostalgic to jump back into this game.
Most of those, because I did a bunch of videos, I watched a bunch of videos and read, like, articles and stuff for this. Most of the noises are all just stock noises that they, like, slowed down. Like that pinky snarl is just like a cougar, but they just slowed it down. Yeah. And a lot of like the screams are just stock screams, but they just slowed it down so that it sounds more hellish.
Yeah, like yeah, you want it to sound a little bit more groany.
Dark.
Though, like with the freaking imps, not imps. What are they?
Oh no, I was gonna make you do that, Rachel. I'm gonna say the name of each of these monsters, and you have to tell me which one it is. That's how we're padding this episode.
No, not again! I feel like we have to have like a song that goes into these little bits that you do.
Hello, everyone. I am Kevin,
and I'm Rachel,
and this is Shelf Life, a podcast hosted by our brother and sister team, where we are going through all things pop culture. No matter what the genre, be that book, movie, TV, comic book, sports entertainment, or video game, which is
video games.
What we might have today. Yes. So we have come a long way in this journey through Volume 3, and we have reached that final portal to try to get back home, because this is the main event of Volume 3. Rachel, what is up for contention to the shelf today?
We are playing the 1993 version of Doom in Hell.
That's right.
We're going to hell.
That's right. Doom, the classic video game, the grandfather of all first-person shooting games, one of the most classic and iconic and influential video games of all time.
Yes.
I don't think that's wrong to say that. I think that is typically what it is known for.
I would think so.
But of course, there's so much that has been made that is in the style of Doom or because of Doom, or they weren't even called first-person shooters. They were called Doom clones. They were called Dooms. It took a while before it became known as the first-person shooter. So, yes, this will be the final subject that we cover here for Volume 3. It's a big one. It's a big one that I think we actually, Rachel, and I don't even remember if you would remember this, at some point in the archives, we foreshadowed that we would do Doom as a main event, and then we scheduled it and didn't even think about
I
that.
kind of remember that, actually. I feel like I
Yeah,
remember
I don't
that.
remember what.
I don't remember
I don't
which
even remember
one,
how. Yeah.
but I do remember talking
But at some
about
point we
it.
said like something about Doom, and then we were like, that's probably a main event. so,
Feels about right.
so Rachel, Doom.
Yes.
What is it? What are we doing in Doom? And of course, as always, what's your history with the game?
Well, I was like a baby.
You were like a baby.
So Doom is about these military guys that went through a portal, I guess, and there were monsters, and a lot of them got, like, all of them got killed except for your Doom guy, which is who you play. And you have to run around and shoot all the monsters and try to get home.
Mm-hmm.
And that's like the whole idea. I think it is a portal to hell, isn't it? It's a portal to hell.
Well,
Technically.
I'll explain the plot. Well, we can probably explain the plot a little bit when we get into the walkthrough, because
The
this is
movie's
going to
different,
be
so you can't go off of the movie.
the movie is stupid. We'll talk about the movie's awful compared to what it could have been. This is going to be a little bit of different kind of an episode, I think, of Shelf Life, because we call them walkthroughs as a, what would you call it, a reference to video games
Yes,
and walkthroughs.
absolutely.
And we've done one video game before in Sonic, see the archive, but I don't think we're going to walk through this because there's not really a plot to Doom. There's a small plot, and we can talk about that when we get into it, but it's not really there's not really a story
No.
to necessarily follow.
Because it's not like super apparent. There isn't really dialogue. There isn't like a lot happening that you'd like.
Are you telling me that isn't dialogue?
Right. Yes. And the snorting
Okay.
and all of that. I don't know if I would like. I don't know. I don't think I would call that dialogue. But it's not like super apparent. You know, you're like going from building to building because they show that.
Mhm.
You know that you're
They
like
show that.
trying to get out of here because you're trying to like shoot things.
Right.
And you have the idea of there's other guys that look like you dead on the ground. That's
Yeah.
yes.
We'll still go through like the little story that there is, or like
yeah,
some of the
of
parts
course.
that there are, but don't expect us to be like, okay, now you turn left and there's
I'm
four
not
imps,
teaching
and then
you
you
to
turn
play.
right and there's a shotgun.
I'm not going to tell you where the
Yeah.
secret areas are. That's on you. You figure it out.
We're going to do it a little bit more in the style that we did Sonic, where it's like, okay, here's some of the levels of the art design, and like here's some of the things they have to fight. But it's not as clear cut in Doom as it was in Sonic. There are levels, there are stages, but
Right.
there's not a lot different or unique to kind of talk about with all the maps. The maps are like mazes in Doom.
Right.
So you kind of got it, Rachel. So one thing I thought was dumb is that like Doom Guy is what he is.
Yeah,
he
he's
is Doom Guy.
Yeah.
But in the newer Dooms, like the 20 teens to now Dooms,
Sure.
call him the Doom Slayer. I don't like that. It's Doom Guy.
It's
Doom
Doom
Guy's
Guy.
better.
Forever Doom Guy. How dare you?
Yeah. Now, Doom Guy does actually have a name, I think, too, and it's BJ Blazkowicz.
Yeah, I've heard that.
Yeah, and we could talk about that a little bit in the walkthrough, too, but
Sounds like a giant joke, you know.
sounds like what?
It sounds like a giant joke of a name.
You think?
BJ Blazkowicz, Kevin. How do you not hear
I
it?
don't get it.
BJ, first name, is a joke because it's a play on, you know, a thing. And then the last name is Blastowicz, like blast away.
Well,
like
there's
type
a
of thing.
Z in there. It's Blazkowicz.
I know, but it's like blast. Think about it. So he's just shooting away.
I-
He's blasting away. Like
I guess so. I mean, no, I agree
you know
with
that's
you
a
on that.
joke. Like, come on.
Oh, I'm sure it is. One of the guys is one of the developers' heads is on a pike in the last level
Which is
episode of
great.
Doom 2. I didn't play much of this to be able to kind of talk about it here. I watched walkthroughs and videos of all the making and stuff like that.
I did play a few
Rachel, I know
levels.
you did.
Yeah.
Yeah, you went back and did some of the.
And then I
did some
got
of it.
motion
There's
sick
just way
from it.
too much of it. Yeah. I was getting it just from watching it. Which
So
like I
used
did
to
not
newer
expect.
games that I was like, whoa, oh my god.
The thing that I thought when I was seeing it was, this is not the one that I'm most used to. The one I'm most used to is Doom 2 Hell on Earth, the sequel.
Okay.
That's the one that I would have been more familiar with or played as a kid. So I guess we should explain that playing it in the past, like,
Right.
do we have any history connected to Doom? Which I can say that I for sure do, and I know you do too. Here's the interesting thing. So, like, yes, I have the connection to Doom is Dad was younger than I am now when Doom came out,
Right.
and he liked video games and computer junk.
Oh, he's a nerd. Yeah.
He might have been one of the first people to be able to like get this
Oh, I'm pretty sure he
kind of
even
game
said he
through the
was like waiting
shareware.
for it to come up because it was announced, it was very like anticipated, and he was one of the first people in there to get it.
To get the shareware, yeah.
Absolutely. He was
So,
waiting for it.
as a 4 or 5 or whatever or less year old, at that point, I had already been taught how to run MS-DOS by Dad. So I knew how to get into games and stuff and run .exes and
Yes.
C:// I can't even think of like another game. There was like a zoo game that I played. There was like an animal game that I played. There's a Mario game that I really liked that I played.
Mm-hmm.
You would like go through the level. I want to know where we had those. Stunts was a great one that I
Stunts.
could run
Oh, yeah,
on
yeah,
MS-DOS.
yeah.
Wonder if that's on Steam anywhere.
I don't know if it's on Steam, but I'm pretty sure I'm gonna find an emulator for that one because that's so fun.
Stunts was great because that was the first like thing that I was able to like you could build, right? You could build a track
Right.
and make it as crazy as you wanted. So Doom was the one where like I'm sure Dad had played it before, and of course not even thinking about the fact that his like toddler son like, oh, this is a game about like hellspawn and demons and shit. It was just like, oh yeah, you could like if you want to give it a shot, because he was probably excited to like, oh, look at it, you can give it a shot.
Yeah.
So yeah, terrible. But I was able to play Doom, and then of course I knew how to get into Doom, and then for some reason Dad either figured out the cheat codes or I figured out the cheat codes, because as a kid you're not playing this game without cheat codes. Where's the fun in that?
Right.
So
Oh, it's so
I
fun to
played.
have cheat codes and Easter eggs and all of these kinds of games.
So I played the game as a kid, and I would, and even like it was like sense memory, like you said, when you would hear the noise and all of that shit.
Oh my god, yes.
But even in the okay, I'm watching this walkthrough and now I'm getting a headache because of the motion. Like
Mm-hmm.
I remember getting that, like, okay, I'm playing too long, my eyes are tired
Yes.
as like a kid.
Right.
So probably terrible, but it still was fun, and clearly not I'm not the product of being able to kind of go like, look at how terrible those video games are or whatever, because I'm playing Doom as a child. So what I was gonna say, Rachel, though, is I don't know if you played Doom. You would have been way too young, but when you got older, you might have been
Well, there is a
playing
picture of me
it.
playing it with you.
Oh, is
My
there?
hands on the keyboard, the Doom is on the screen, and I must be playing, and you must be showing me how to play. And I am
But you
a
would have been
baby.
probably like, yeah. Okay.
And so I mean,
Okay.
I came out of the
I'm going
womb
click that
playing
button
video
when I
games,
say so. Because even when Doom 3, which this was probably 15 years ago or so, we tried playing Doom 3, or maybe longer. I am not a vast video game player. I've never really been, and I never probably will be. I'm much more casual about it. So when you give something like Doom 3, where you need the dexterity of your mouse hand and be able to move around with the other hand, I couldn't do it. So we were like, so we needed to play Doom 3 together, where
Yes.
was I shooting and you were moving, or vice versa?
I had the
can't
mouse,
remember.
so I like moved us like around the screen. I moved the head and the gun.
Yeah,
And I shot, and you would like move us
Yeah.
around and switch guns and do stuff like that.
gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay,
I remember
Yeah, 'cause I
having
wanted
the
to do the
mouse in
more
my
simple.
hand, I'm pretty sure.
yeah. I can't remember. We'll get to that game again.
Now
at some
I'm
point.
very
I
PC
liked,
gamer, so like
Right, exactly. Yeah, again, I am not. But yeah, so this a lot of memories of playing this as a kid. I was big into, still try to be into writing throughout my entire life. So I can distinctly remember as a kid trying to write a version like of my own not fan, I guess it would be
it would
fan
fan fiction.
I don't know.
It's 100% fan
Where
fiction.
I was trying to write a story where my friend and I got sucked into the game, and then when we came out of the game, then all the Hellspawn were in real life, so then we
Ooh.
had to take out the Hellspawn like in our hometown.
That's fun.
I remember trying to write that.
I like
yeah.
it. You should keep writing
It's
that
not
one.
dissimilar to what happens in this. So Rachel, any other memories when it comes to Doom? Because the only other thing I was gonna say is you're probably more, and I remember a lot of us playing Quake
Yes.
together with Dad
Quake
more than
was
Doom, because
bigger for
Quake
me
was
because we could all play together on different computers, and Dad even set it up
right.
where all the computers run a LAN together.
Yep, we were all in a LAN, and the
Yes.
three of us would play Quake together.
Right.
Yeah,
So Doom was a
yeah.
little
So
lesser, but it was still a part of like the nostalgia and like the childhood.
right. I mean, and we'll have to get into Quake one day too, because I think Quake is better, probably. As like
Well,
for
of
like
course it is, because you
gameplay.
got to think about it. It is the update to it type of thing. It is the upgrade.
Right, that's true.
They're taking Doom and making it better. So it makes sense that it would be like, okay, now here's the new version of the idea of it.
Yeah.
You could say it's
So
better. I
anything
mean, this thing gives me freaking headaches, and I was like, oh my god.
that is gonna affect my conclusion, I think, because like the whole idea of like, does it have shelf life? Would you replay it? And it's like, well, I'm gonna get nothing but headaches from playing this. So anything else, Rachel, about about your history? Otherwise, I'll go into a little bit of how where this came from, how Doom became Doom.
Oh, I'm ready for how Doom became Doom. Let's go.
id is the company that developed Doom.
Right.
They're bigger, I guess they had like two hits or like two bigger games before that. One, of course, being Commander Keen, which we all remember.
Yeah, Commander Keen.
It was Commander Keen was about like a kid that it was like a side scroller where this kid was trying to like there was like a Mars invasion or something like that, and then he had to go to Mars to say something. I don't know.
Okay.
Folks at home, let me know what Commander Keen was about. I have no idea. And their other game was their first attempt at a first-person shooter called Wolfenstein
Yes.
3D,
That was a big one for me too.
which we also played. And that was a rudimentary version of Doom where they used these 3D engines in a 2D space. Mm-hmm. So with Wolfenstein and Doom, there's no real 3 dimension. It's all 2D. But because of the way that they shape the polygons and stuff, it makes it look 3D.
Right.
So it gives it the illusion of 3 dimensions, which is kind of cool.
Yeah, no, that's amazing the way that like that
It's
technology worked then. So it was very cool.
It's why in Doom you can shoot just at the direction of the guy, and if he's higher
Yes.
or lower than you, it still hits him because it's
Right.
2 dimensional.
Well,
Which is good because you can't
remember,
look up or
I was
down.
gonna say you can't look up and down. You can only look left and right. There is no up and down.
So while Doom might be the most successful first 3D shooter, Wolfenstein 3D is probably the grandfather of the 3D shooters, right? That's the big daddy.
I
of
think
it.
so.
And where this all gets connected, so all three of these games are supposed to be connected. So you've got BJ Blazkowicz or Blazkowicz in Doom. William Blazkowicz is the main character in Wolfenstein. So
family.
then Commander Keen has somebody named something Blaz, so that's clearly like it's like a nickname. So they're all, and this I think has been proven true. I like this was a fan theory, and then I think the guys at id said nope,
we
it's
did
all
that.
the same family. Yeah, so they're all related. So they're all supposed to be like related in the same universe,
Right.
which makes, and it kind of fits too, because we'll get, when we do Wolfenstein one day, the plot of that kind of fits into Doom with like the experiments and the portals and stuff. It would all kind of work.
Sure.
So Wolfenstein 3D comes out. Rachel, Wolfenstein, as a side note, do you remember the mod that we used? There was, I can't remember if it was a cheat code or if it was an early mod where you could play the game, instead of fighting Nazis, you were fighting Barney the dinosaur.
I do remember that. Oh my god, the second you said that, it oh my god, yes.
And instead of Hitler, it was Barney.
Yes.
And I can't remember what the soldiers were, but yeah.
Wow, is that like the first mod?
I'm sure it's not, but I just
It
remember
feels
it was
like
the first
it.
time I knew. It was the first time I knew you could do that kind of thing.
I forgot about that. Holy cow, you just unlocked a memory.
So they had Wolfenstein 3D come out. It was very popular. It was fast-paced, and they wanted to come out with a new game to kind of be like the sequel to Wolfenstein. John Carmack, who was one of the co-founders, lead programmer at id, was trying to do some more technical research to come up with like a faster paced version of Wolfenstein, or a more 3D version of the game. They wanted to do something different than Wolfenstein though, so they started developing like this new engine. Tom Hall, who was the lead designer, he proposed something to do with Commander Keen, and then John Romero and Adrian Carmack wanted to do something darker.
Mm-hmm.
So John Carmack comes up with this concept where he wants to use the technology that they have and the engine that they have to do something with demons, because they played Dungeons and Dragons a lot.
Yes.
I guess. So,
Yep.
and
One of
once
the
you
demons
know
is based
that,
on
you
a
see
Dungeons and
it.
Dragon character. Yes.
Oh, interesting. Okay, because like once you know that they were Dungeons and Dragon nerds, and that's where Doom comes from, you see that in the game.
You
You're
can
like, okay, I
absolutely feel
totally get
that.
that.
Yeah.
Yeah. They come up with the term Doom. They come up with this concept in 1992. There's a team of programmers on it. There's a team of artists. Oh, and then they decide that they're going to self-publish this game. So they start designing it. Paul starts coming up with the Doom Bible, and because like we said, like if you're kind of basing this off of a bit of Dungeons and Dragons, it's going to be very lore heavy.
Sure.
Now, I think that's probably what people will want. They want all of this
Oh, of
backstory
course
and
you
all this
do.
world building and all this lore. At the
Absolutely.
time, Carmack said, we don't want to have a lot of lore in this, because this is his quote here: story in a game is like story in a porn movie. It's expected to be there, but it's not important. They didn't want of this big, deep, grand
Interesting.
story, because at the time, I think that they probably also were like, how are we going to convey that outside of like the texts
Right.
that you get?
Yes.
So it
That's
was more
probably why
supposed
he's
to be
thinking
like,
that.
push all of this Doom Bible stuff off to the side, because what we really want to do is focus on the gameplay and making it fun. Like, yeah, there's a plot and there's like a reason for this happening, but really what people care about is being able to go around and shoot, and the
The
art
action
design
part.
and the maps and stuff.
Yeah.
That put Hall at a bit of like, they fought a lot about that
I could
then,
see them
'cause,
fighting about that. I understand both thought processes, but
mhm.
I like a story in a game. So
No, I like world building stuff too. I'm not saying, like, I just think that at the time it made sense.
Oh
Like
no no
in
yeah
the
yeah.
early '90s, if this was going to be popular, if you put a lot of lore and side quests and missions and shit in it, it would not have worked.
Mm-hmm.
The reason that Doom worked is because it was so simple, and it was just you go from level to level,
Right.
just shooting the shit out of everything that
Yeah,
you
exactly.
see. They've got the new 3D engines. They developed the art style. John Romero is trying to come up with the different levels. He wanted everything to be extremely brutal, extremely fast. At first, everything was very military and boxy and flat, and Romero didn't want to do that because he was like, that was Wolfenstein. We have to do something a little bit different. So Romero created a lot of like the maps and the mazes that you have to like go through in the game as well. So Hall ends up actually resigning or kind of getting fired
Oh
because of the
geez.
fact that they rejected like so much of the lore that he had worked on.
Yeah.
So he was like kind of not happy about that. So they brought in like some other people that then kind of like finished off and helped to design the rest of the levels.
Mm-hmm.
I've even saw some of like the things where they like molded a lot of these monsters, like clay moldings and
Oh,
stuff, so
that's
that they
really
could figure
fun.
out
I
how
do
that they would
love
work.
that. Yeah.
In particular, like the spider demon thing, and some of those like ones where you have to kind of like figure out how you're going to use it.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm sure that there's a bunch of people at home that could tell me a lot of like how the engines work and how you're able to use like the angles and the heights and making it seem 3D. And I don't know enough about any of that stuff, but that was all done there as well. Kevin Cloud came on as an additional artist. Adrian Carmack was the lead artist. They did a bunch of modeling, like I said, for the characters. Bobby Prince came in to compose the music, which of course we talk about with that like techno metal, that and all of that kind of stuff. So what they decide to do is, like I said, they're self-publishing on DOS. They are going to market this thing and sell it directly to the customers without like going through a distributor.
Mm-hmm.
The plan price was $40. They released Doom in 1993. By December, I think they're still trying to like make sure that it like is truly like running and everything, or like it kind of works like as well as you can. But they upload the first episode to the internet on December 10th, 1993. So it's not out of the ordinary that we're doing this around the
Oh,
holidays.
sure. That actually works out.
This is a Christmas game. It's a Christmas video game.
Perfect.
It makes so much sense. So what happened was it got on the internet, like the first like level or whatever, so that you were able to kind of like get a, you know, it's a drug dealer thing, right? You get a flavor. You
gotta get a
people
taste
a flavor of it.
Right.
Yeah. You keep coming back to kill those fucking imps.
That's right.
Yeah,
You gotta get them.
You want more of that plasma gun, you little prick. So they were able to connect to a server at the University of Wisconsin, and they plan to upload the game there. They kick it off. 30 minutes later, 10,000 people attempt to download the game, and it crashed the University of Wisconsin's internet.
I love it. It's hilarious to me.
And that's kind of the legacy that you get when it comes to Doom, is that it becomes this obsession. People loved it.
Yes.
It was, according to Wikipedia, and I can't remember the source that they got from Wikipedia, it made $100,000 a day.
Oh my God.
I think the game has sold something like, it was on 10 million computers or something like that.
That's insane.
At one point. So it becomes a hit, and they continue to add on to it. They make different stages for it. They continue to build that piece of their game where they have like different stages, because there's 3 main stages that we'll talk about when we go into it. There's Knee Deep in the Dead, there's the Shores of Hell, and there's Inferno, and then they built onto it after that as well.
Right.
But those are like the first like 3 stages that they have built for Doom.
Mm-hmm.
And now it's a hit. Now, I mean, the rest is history. It's this giant thing. It goes through all of these iterations, comes out several times. It goes through controversies because, of course, there's a bunch of satanic imagery. Once kids like us or teenagers got a hold of it, then is it a bad influence? It's desensitizing to violence. It got accused of causing Columbine 6 years later.
Oh, right, yeah.
So, I mean, it is not without its controversy, but of course it's not. It's a violent video game that has nothing but blood and guts and gore all over the place, so of course it's going to have that.
Mm-hmm.
So, of course, and there's Satan in it and stuff, so of course you're going to have the evangelical backlash to it and stuff like that, too.
Yeah.
So, that kind of puts us into the spot where we can start going through Doom. I don't know if we would call it a walkthrough or what, but we're going to go through a lot of the different weapons, the monsters, the different kind of levels. I'm going to make Rachel try to figure out which monster is which. We'll talk about the cheat codes. We'll talk about some of the spots of Doom. Rachel, anything else before we hit the break?
I'm trying to remember if I had any other...
Yeah, because you might know more about, like, the shit.
I'm not really remembering anything huge to talk about. Yeah, I mean, I'm ready. We can always even pull up the game if we want to, bring back anything or check it out.
I mean, with that being said, I think that we have gotten to a place where we can discuss in depth. We will, in our own way, walk through Doom, because as we said, it's a classic game. It is one of the most important and influential games of all time. But that is not the question.
Uh-oh.
The question is, does it have shelf life? So once we return after a word from our fake sponsor, we will walk through Doom.
Attention, curious minds seeking the extraordinary. Today's broadcast is proudly supported by the innovative minds at the United Aerospace Corporation. For those yearning for frontiers beyond the ordinary, the United Aerospace Corporation beckons, pioneering advancements in handling unique materials, including the enigmatic radioactive elements. Yet within our facilities lies more than meets the eye. Behind closed doors, as we explore the boundaries of scientific understanding, we delve into uncharted domains. Consider the prospect of transcending the confines of the known. Picture a future unfolding beyond imagination, all with the aid of our groundbreaking technologies. Of course, safety remains our paramount concern at the United Aerospace Corporation. For the intrepid souls ready to embrace the unknown, adventure awaits. Embark on a clandestine journey with the United Aerospace Corporation. Discover what lies just beyond the veil of familiarity. Details exist, yet mysteries are better left unsaid. Welcome the Uncharted, United Aerospace Corporation redefining boundaries in subtle, unexpected ways. And now, back to your explorations. Continue seeking the unexplored, for the truth may lie in realms beyond our comprehension.
And we're back with Doom from 1993. I was going to go, or whatever. Yeah, those noises are so just imprinted on my head. It's very sad.
It's very
very sad. So where do we begin with this? Because one thing I think we have to talk about is you had the plot sort of right, Rachel. Do you want me to tell you what happens here?
Yes, tell me
or
more.
What the plot of this game is? Okay.
Because that
So
was
you
like,
are
this
Doom
is
guy.
like my memory of the game. That was like my memory of the game
Yeah.
plot. But tell us the
So
real plot.
Here's what's supposed to be happening. You are Doom Guy.
Yes.
You are a Marine in the year 2019, the far distant future of 2019. And you are assigned to Phobos, this moon of Mars.
Yes.
So what has happened here is the United Aerospace Corporation is a company that has set up a radioactive waste disposal, I don't know, what would you call it? Radioactive waste, like a field or something like that? Or just kind of facility?
Yeah,
Facility,
I think it's
guess?
just a facility. I think it's a facility. It's definitely a facility inside of like a crater.
Yeah. And the good call. They've set this up on the moon, one of the moons of Mars. Mars has two moons, Phobos and Deimos. And you are assigned to this moon base because of the fact that a few years earlier, you were a Marine that was, I don't know if it was on Earth or something else, but you refused to fire on civilians. Your commanding officer got up in your face about it, and he punched the guy out. So that is where...
This part I didn't know. Okay, keep going.
Yes, so you were reassigned, you're punished, basically, and reassigned to Phobos because nothing really happens there, because it's just kind of like you're like almost like a security guard now, and they just
Sure.
want you like out of the way because you're just a pain in the ass, you're an instigator.
Right.
So that's why you're there. They apparently don't know that that you have a lineage of being like a rebellious, world-saving family here in the
Blaskowitz?
I always say their name wrong. Blaskowitz, yeah.
Like I said, you got to think of it like a Blazkowicz.
Yeah, you're right. You have to think of it as saying blast. So while you're here, and like I said, you're not really doing much of anything other than, it's boring.
Right.
You are not privy to what the United Aerospace Corporation is also doing off to the side. This comes into play a lot more in Doom 3, too. Doom 3 is a
Yes.
lot more story-heavy.
Doom 3 has tons of story in that one. But I mean, that
Yeah.
one's like definitely further advanced from this one, too.
And it's a lot more in that era where you wanted to have all the world building and all of that kind of stuff, too.
Absolutely.
So what is happening off on the side is that the UAC is doing teleportation experiments where they're trying to connect the two moons together so that they can send people via teleportation through the moons. Apparently, they're not very good at this. They're not Time Lords, as you would say, Rachel. Because, I mean, now there is a crossover.
Yeah,
And I know I
oh my
foreshadowed
God,
it on
could
the
you
episode of
imagine?
Doctor Who.
Doom Guy and the Doctor.
I need to use the TARDIS. I don't... Well, okay, I suppose we just go through the portal here.
I have a screwdriver.
always-
I don't like guns.
Where are we, Doctor? Well, it appears that we're on the shores of hell. And then it's Doctor Who trying to fight his way out of hell.
Oh, I
that
like
would
it.
work. They could make all sorts of terrible-looking costumes with all of these monsters.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
I like to think that everything that we've covered in Volume 3 could easily be the same universe.
It's all connected.
From 12 Angry Men to Jim Cotta to Interstellar to this.
For
they
all we
could
know,
be connected.
For all we know, there's a Blazkowicz in that 12 Angry Men
There
grouping.
could have been.
I'm just
That's
saying.
right. Yeah. It's very possible. You think Henry Fonda was
He could have been.
William Blazkowicz?
He could have been. We don't
He
know
could
any
have
other
been,
names.
that's true. You think that you can just take down the Castle Wolfenstein without any repercussions? You think you're some kind of hero? Anyway, or BJ Blazkowicz was supposed to be on one of those missions for NASA to get through the wormhole, but because he was a insubordinate to the commanding officer,
he's now stuck at Mars. You know.
What we did was we were going to send a lot of people through the wormhole, but first we ended up on Mars about 50 years ago, and we opened up a portal to hell. Now, when we did that, Cooper, we discovered that we could make wormholes into the interdimensional space, so we kept going with it, and eventually it worked. Maybe that's what happened. Maybe that's why there's no food and, like, all the wars happened was because hell opened up on Earth in the interstellar univer's.
Oh my
like
God,
that idea.
Could you imagine?
Like that idea.
I love it.
So anyway.
Make it happen. Where's
that,
my fan fiction from Shelf Life of all of our little worlds colliding?
Yeah, it's like a multiverse.
That's right.
Why did you say that like Caesar Flickerman? I love it.
I don't know. Now I'm just adding another world.
Well, we did posit that the interstellar universe and the Hunger Games universe could have been the same as well because of the fact that, like, they were fighting climate change. I mean, and population.
You're right.
Well, you're right.
God damn it.
So anyway, the UAC is trying to connect these two portals, and they're sending some of the Marines, like, through the portals to, like, do experiments on this. I don't know why they're doing this, if this is some sort of military thing, or if this is, like, we'll just throw the radioactive junk through this easier. I have no idea. But what's happening is, as they put the Marines through the portal, they either disappear, or they come through and they're insane and crazy and extremely violent.
It kind of makes sense. That's fair. You're putting them through this crazy thing that you don't know what it's doing to their bodies.
And I can't remember if you're stationed on Mars or if you're stationed on Phobos, but I think you might just be stationed on Mars. There's a distress call eventually on Phobos, and you're assigned to this group of Marines as Doom Guy to go to Phobos to see what's going on. You get there and you're told you're an instigator, you're a pain in the ass. You just guard the perimeter. We're going to go in and see what's happening. Mm-hmm. So you're just guarding the perimeter of the crater. You keep hearing and all the rest of that crap.
Crazy noises.
And eventually it goes dark and you think something has happened, something's gone wrong. So you are taking it upon yourself to go in and see what's happening. Mm-hmm. And that's where this starts. And that's where the kicks in, because now you're trying to get through, and you realize, like, oh, they opened up a portal to hell.
Yeah.
And you have to fight off all of these demon things.
Right. And I have a feeling he's probably also trying to find, like, survivors, and it's just nobody.
Well, trying to find survivors, and now he has to get home.
Yes.
Because I think if you read the manual, which is where most of this storytelling takes place.
Which is the best. Bring back manuals, by the way. I want manuals to my games.
Oh, absolutely. Bring back manuals. Yes. I love a good manual. I used to read them because I was like, I need to know the plot.
Of course.
It wasn't just porn to me, John Carmack. It was essential to knowing what was going on.
It's my favorite part.
But I think, like, it's something where you couldn't get through, you couldn't use you either don't know how to fly to get off of the
planet?
The moon. So you just have to, like, fight your way through so that you can, like you said, probably are trying to, like, figure out how to get out. Deimos has disappeared entirely, so the other moon is gone. And
did the moon get sucked into a portal?
Yeah, that's what happened.
I like it. Okay.
And then so that you don't have a way off of the moon. So you all you have is a pistol because, again, they don't trust you. So now you have nothing but a pistol, and you have to fight your way through. That is the start of the first episode of Doom, which is called
they call them episodes. They call them episodes. We'd call them levels, I think, at this point, but they're episodes.
Or stages. Yeah, they're calling them episodes. And then each level, what we would call a level, they call a map.
Oh, yeah. So that makes sense. Yeah, so stages and levels versus, episodes and maps.
And I think they all have, like, 8 or 9 maps on each one of these episodes. So there's, like, a total of, like, 27, which we are not going through one at a time because it would take... It takes hours to play this game. Right. No, I don't think we need to either. Rachel, with that being said, I think it's time for us to talk about the weapons and the monsters
Oh
that
yeah,
you'll
let's do
encounter
it.
along your path.
It's fun. This is probably
All right,
where
so
I will spoiler, there's a shotgun. Now this is probably where I like started enjoying using shotguns in video games. Because anytime I find a shotgun in a video game, even nowadays, I'm like, yes, that's my gun right there. Let's go.
I feel like you used to make fun of me, especially like Call of Duty. Like I would exclusively be like, no, the shotgun's the best game
Well,
of all of them.
of course I would make fun of you. Because like so a lot of the
Well,
times
okay.
you would be using it in weird scenarios, and it's like, well, you're supposed to like switch to
You're
this
right. I'm
gun.
like trying to like shoot it like long range, and
Yes.
I'm like, nope, I'm using the shotgun. Yeah.
But it is
Because
superior.
it's the best. Because it is the best weapon in most of these first person shooters.
Absolutely.
I don't know why. But
Well, because it's got
usually
like the,
is.
you know, it blast radius and stuff is always fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that is probably the best weapon to use is the shotgun. But yeah, that's one of them.
Or
You
we
have
play
the
these
little
games where
pistol.
you don't want to waste your bullets, so then you either have like the axe or something and you just hack it away.
Yeah.
We would do that so
That's-
often.
That's a terrible habit in video games and people that play video games. I saw like a meme of that at some point where it was like, "Oh, you
Can't
have
waste
the
your bullets.
BFG.
You only have so many.
Use that sparingly." And in your head, you think, "Okay, never use it.
Never
Got
use
it."
it
So
unless
you
like I'm on a
never-
boss level, and then that's when I use all of my weapons. But
Right.
I can't use weapons until that point.
You like hamstring yourself from being able to use most of the
Yes.
stuff that would help you because you're like, "Oh, I've got it. I will not use this. I
I
understand."
hate having a limited number of bullets. It drives me crazy because it makes me think
So
that.
let's okay, if for those of you at home that are trying to play Doom and you don't want to play with a limited number of bullets, I have the cheat code implanted in my
Uh-oh.
permanent memory. I'm going to be sitting drooling as like an old man just remembering the cheat codes for Doom.
That's right.
In particular, I remember two. And if you wanted all the weapons, you'd put in IDKFA.
That makes sense.
And you would get all the weapons, you would get all the ammo, and you would get all the key cards. You didn't have to do a damn thing.
Yeah, I like it.
And I, as a kid, I would do that because it's like I don't want to struggle with this. I just want to go around shooting things.
Right.
So I'm gonna put in IDKFA. And of course, then there is also infamously God mode, which I
Of
don't even know if
course.
they called it God mode, but it is just considered God mode. Do
Yes.
you remember God mode, Rachel? How to do God mode?
I remember the arrows or like the directions were a part of it, weren't they?
I
well,
don't
like
think
the
so.
directional key
You're-
isn't like not even like WASD. It's like the directional keys. No.
I think we can confirm this, but I'm pretty sure. To see what it was, Rachel.
Okay,
but
I'm
I'm
looking
pretty
it up.
sure it's IDDQD.
Oh
If you
my
did
God! Wait, that sounds
IDDQD,
really familiar
it's
now.
God mode.
That sounds so familiar. I mean, honestly, like once we get to like not what is it called?
Grand Theft Auto.
Grand Theft
Call of
Auto.
Duty.
I can tell you every goddamn
Yeah.
single.
Grand Theft Auto was a lot of left down, right up, left down, right
R2,
up.
R2,
There was a lot
L1,
of
R2,
that.
left down, right up, left down, right up,
Yeah.
R2, R2, L1, L2, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down. Like, literally stuck in my brain with that
Yeah.
stuff. Oh, yeah. IDDQD.
Mhm.
Yes, yes, yes.
Okay. So if you want
I
an
keep
easier
thinking that there was like
experience-
up downs and left and rights, but it's probably just because of other games that I've played, and that's
it's
like
because
the
of probably
cheat
other
codes.
games. Yeah. Well, because it needed to be, it was keyboard based, so of
Right.
course it's like you have to move around with the arrows.
Right.
So that will give you all of the weapons. And if you use that, you end up with the shotgun right away. You would
Well, no,
have
that's
your
got-
little pistol.
Oh, because God mode gave you literally everything?
No, God mode just made you invulnerable.
Oh, okay.
IDKFA gave you everything.
Yes.
You would get a chainsaw.
The chainsaw was fun. Chainsaw was always fun.
The chainsaw was fine with God mode on. Without God mode on, you would always end up taking more damage.
You
that was
would take a lot of
probably
damage
worth
because
it.
you'd like you have to walk up to them. Yeah, that's true.
Yeah. For some of them, it would work because if you could keep them at bay from attacking you with the chainsaw, then
Push 'em
that would
back a
never
little
wear
bit.
out. So you would just sit there and chain them.
Yes. You gotta get them into
until
a
they-
corner.
Yeah. The chain gun,
Yeah. No, is it a chain
Always
gun or is it
a-
a nail gun?
or that's Quake. Nail gun is
Dang
Quake.
it.
The chain gun, it's the one. It's the rotating one
I can see it now.
where it like fires
Yeah.
rapidly.
Right.
A rocket launcher,
Yeah.
which does exactly what you expected. Projectile throws a rocket
Yep,
at
that-
them. You got to be careful with that one because if you did it
Too
too
close.
close, it would bounce back and hit you.
I think that
The
always
plasma
happened to me.
rifle.
Plasma
The
gun is
plasma
always
rifle,
fun.
which yeah, see, I
I
remembered
just like
it
the
being
sound of
fun
it.
too. Boing, boing, boing. But like watching it back, I'm like, wait, was it fun? Because it doesn't look like it does anything most of the
Yeah, I
time.
don't know. I
I
don't
feel
know if
like,
it does as much like damage as we thought it was doing. Like you want it to do more damage because of its freaking
yeah,
plasma. Come on now, let's go.
yeah. So yeah, the plasma gun, which I think you always felt was helping you, and
Yes.
then of course it's not on this episode. We could save it for the next episode, but I think we can just talk about it now. Rachel, what's the final gun that's in Doom?
Oh, the BFG.
The BFG 9000, which stands for.
Big fucking gun. I mean, I'm sorry, big
That's
force
right.
gun.
No, big fucking gun, I think, is what it is, right?
Isn't it both? I think it's the big force gun, unless that's just from the movie and I'm just like remembering that.
No, even in the movie, I mean, maybe
And
it
they
is called the
call it.
big
I think
force
even
gun.
in Doom 3, it's called the big force gun, and you say it's a big fucking gun.
Okay,
Um,
okay. Because, yeah, I know The Rock in the movie goes, now that is one big fucking gun. Like,
yes,
he just says that.
yeah,
That's all the weapons that you have, and you have to use all of those weapons at different points in time. The shotgun probably being the best version
it's
of, like,
great.
because you can.
That one actually has a longer distance in this game too than it probably should.
The shotgun. Yeah,
Yes.
definitely. But it's the most useful one, I think, because it takes only a few shots for each one
Mm-hmm.
to kind of like, if you use the shotgun. The other thing that we could probably mention is you have to pick your difficulty level. Do you remember
Oh
the difficulty
yes.
levels, Rachel?
They all have very funny names.
Of course. So, like, normal
Yes.
is hurt me plenty.
Hurt me plenty.
Do you remember what easy is called?
Is it go easy on me?
No, but that sounds very familiar. I don't know what that one is. And there was like another game, maybe it's Wolfenstein, where if you go further up, because I think in Wolfenstein it might be William Blazkowicz's head,
Yeah.
and it like becomes like a little baby if you go to the top and
I
you're
think I
using the easy
remember
mode.
that. Yes. You get younger.
On this though, it's called
You look
I'm Too
grittier
Young
when you
to
go
Die.
down to like the hardest
Yeah,
level.
yeah, and you become like older.
I'm too
grizzled.
young to die. Okay.
Yeah, Hey Not Too Rough is
Yes.
in between, and then the hard mode. You remember the hard modes?
Give it like it's like
Ultra
give it to me.
violence.
Oh no, okay, ultra violence. Okay. I thought it was give it to
And
me or
then
something.
Give It to Me. That
Give it
sounds
to me
like
more.
maybe
I'm
those are all
telling you,
quakes.
I'm maybe am I remembering it wrong?
Like those all sound familiar. And then the hardest is Nightmare. And depending on which one you pick, there's more monsters and things like that, and difficulties, and it just takes longer to get through the levels and the maps and stuff like that. So Rachel, I think we have to do a little game of can you name the monster?
Oh boy. I don't know if I'm going to be able to name the
So-
monster. I can describe the monster. I
I'm
might
going
be
to
able
give
do
you
that.
no. I'm going to give you the name of the monster, and you have to describe which monster it is
Okay.
in the game.
Okay.
Okay, are you ready?
Maybe.
Okay.
Let's find out.
Imp.
Okay, that's like the main monster looking guy that looks like humanoid, and he's brown and he's got like the spikes and like
Yep.
the and he's the one that well no, actually that's the pig guy. He also kind of makes that noise, but it's like so it,
Yeah, he kind of goes. "Rrrr."
but you know
And
they're
he
in the
throws-
room because you hear that and then it's like you
Yeah.
know they're behind that door and you're like, okay, I got to be ready because they can throw fireballs at me.
That's right. Okay, yes, that is absolutely correct. That is the imp.
I got it right.
Zombie Man.
Well, that's just like the Marine guys that turned into zombies, right? So they look
Exactly,
like Marine
yeah.
guys with like the gray uniforms and stuff, and they
Yeah,
shoot at you.
they're soldiers. They've been possessed by zombies. They're armed with a rifle. They're
And
the
they just
weakest
moan.
ones in the game.
Right.
Yeah, they just moan. I don't think anybody calls them demon. I think most people call this one Pinky.
Is that the little pig guy? Little pig man?
Yeah.
The little like hog beast
So-
looking things? Like
Yeah, he's
they,
definitely
they
a
like
hog
kind of like
beast.
have their arms around. They kind of look like they're
Yeah, they walk on two arms, but they
Glumps.
like have. Yeah, they look kind of piggish. I don't know what they're supposed to be.
I want to see them now because I'm trying to like picture it.
A giant hog beast. I went to hell and had to kill a giant hog beast.
The only words that could like describe it well enough.
All they can do is they usually
scratch
are in
you, right?
packs. They scratch you, or they're trying to like bite you with their sharp teeth.
They
I
have
think.
like their heads like their body is pretty much their mouth.
It's like a big head.
It's
Yeah,
just
a
like a
big-headed,
giant head
like,
with
it's a-
limbs.
It's a big bobble-headed Funko Pop looking monster Pinky thing. shotgun guy.
That's just a dude. That's just another dude with a shotgun.
Yeah, it's a possessed zombie.
You might think it's just a
soldier.
zombie guy,
They
but he
had
has a
shotguns.
shotgun now instead of a pistol. Like,
Yeah. Well, that's how you get your shotguns.
that's how you get your shotgun.
From
Or you get to the
shotgun
secret
guys.
area and you get your shotgun. It's also another plan.
The Spectre.
Spectre.
Yeah, this one's kind of a cheat,
The
in my opinion.
Spectre. I'm not picturing a spectre. Is it actually like almost like wispy? I'm not like picturing this one.
Yeah, it's not. This one's a little cheat. It's just pinky, but it's invisible or partially invisible. Like the outline is, you can see the outline of him, but you
Oh.
can't tell. You can't like see him.
Okay.
That's a specter. It's just like a specter of
fine.
pinky. Yeah, that one's not. They come up for sure.
Oh, look, I'm just saying.
The Lost Soul.
I don't remember the Lost Soul. I don't remember what that looks like.
It's kind of a Ghost Rider head. It just looks like it's
Oh,
a flaming
yes!
floating head.
Oh my god,
That's
it's
just
the
the Ghost
freaking
Rider
heads
head.
that are on fire. And it's just
Yeah.
a skull, right?
Yep.
Yes.
And
Okay.
they kind of like throw themselves at you.
Okay. I
to
never
attack.
remember what I didn't know what they were called. Just like but that's fair.
No,
Okay.
why would you? Your Honor, I don't know what this is.
But that makes sense. Okay.
The Keko Demon?
Oh, I think I know this one. I think I know this
Okay.
one because it's that's the one that's based on the eyeball guy from Dungeons and Dragons.
Oh, so this one is based on a Dungeons and Dragons thing?
Yes, because it's the oh shoot, the name like just left me. Hold on a second. Let me find it cuz
I wrote down that it's a big meatball with one eye and horns.
the Eye of the Beholder is from Dungeons and Dragons.
Okay.
And I'm pretty sure it's
Okay.
based on that guy because he's got the one eye and he's like a cyclops, but I think it's just his head that they like took and made it into the meatball dude. But that's
shoot
like the
this
one I
giant
knew was like
meatball.
based on it because every time I saw it, I went, "Oh, it's the thing from Doom, right?" And I played Doom before I played Dungeons and Dragons, obviously. So it was
Sure.
like, "Oh, that's the Doom thing," and it's like, "Well, that's the Eye of the Beholder from Dungeons and Dragons," and I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty much the same damn thing." I think it's called the Eye of the Beholder. Is it just the Beholder? I think it's the Beholder.
Oh, yeah. Okay. Yeah,
see
I
it?
could see that.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely. Yeah. Yeah, there's definitely a resemblance for sure to the Coco Demon.
The Coco Demon.
I don't even know if I'm saying Coco Demon right. It's probably not
Is
Coco
it
Demon.
is it literally a
Keko
Keiko?
Demon. Keko Demon.
Keko Demon.
I don't know why it's called Keko Demon.
It means evil spirit in Greek.
Yeah, he has a Cheshire Cat smile and big strong jaws, and then he throws crap at you. Is the Keko Demon.
Yes. That's like the one I knew was like that's why I knew it was like a Dungeons and Dragons thing because I was like, "Yes, wait, that one monster."
Let's see if I can find anything about that. Oh yeah, here it is. It even says it in the wiki. It says that it's similar to that of the Beholder from
Yeah.
Dungeons and Dragons. Yeah, you can definitely see that in there.
It's great.
They're called pumpkins in the Doom novels.
Oh, right. I mean, I guess like
don't know why.
jack-o'-lanterns because it's got like a face.
They're commonly
and they're round.
nicknamed tomato or pumpkins.
Tomato makes a lot more sense to me. Tomato head. Like
They're often nicknamed meatballs.
Yep, meatball is definitely the best way to describe it.
There you go. There's little plushes of them you could get, Rachel.
They're very cute.
Yes, the Kako Demon, very cute.
The plush is cute.
Let's see. Is there any other one? Okay, and then so those are all the typical ones that you fight throughout the episodes and the levels. There's 3 more that you get at each end of each episode that we'll get to.
Yeah.
So pretty good, Rachel. Very
Thank
good.
you. Thank you.
Rachel knows her Doom monsters. So let's start here. We are knee deep in the dead. It's the first episode in Doom. We are in one of the UAC installations on Phobos. We're going through a lot of what this looks like, a lot of what this stage or episode looks like is a kind of like a factory, warehouse, that type of thing. That's where you're kind of fighting your way through a lot of the different battles here. Anything in particular that you kind of want to point out at all about this, Rachel? There's a lot of door openings and hallways
Yes.
and stairs. Some radioactive waste
Yeah, there's,
pools
like-
that will hurt you.
Yeah, you can make those explode if you shoot them and stuff.
Oh, you're thinking of the barrels.
I'm sorry,
I'm
yeah,
even
the
talking about just
barrels.
like the rivers
Oh
of
yeah, the rivers that
radioactive
you
waste.
like, and there's one. I think it's on the second level where you actually have to like walk through it and turn on like a switch and stuff. But there's always
the
like
switches are all over the place.
oh yeah, but there's always like hidden rooms and secret places that you can find too.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, a lot of these maps designed by Romero are kind of like mazes and things
Mm-hmm.
like that. The one thing that is consistent about like all of them is you have to find keys.
Yes.
So in Knee Deep in the Dead, you have to find like door keys so that you can unlock things because the whole thing that you're trying to do is find your way like out of here, right?
Mm-hmm.
So you have to go find these keys, and a lot of these places that you have to find these keys are kind of like in hidden rooms, like you said, or a lot of areas where you have to do a lot of kind of thinking, more
Yes.
so, or like at least try to like,
Just
you
start just
flip the
start
switch one
clicking
way, and
on walls, and sometimes they open, and
yeah, yeah. There's areas where if you click the walls, you can tell like they're drawn slightly differently, or
there
like
might be
that
a
they would
light
be a.
somewhere, and you
Mm-hmm.
can see it a little bit. Yeah, but you can like see the landscape and stuff. There's windows, so you can kind of see like these mountainous landscapes and everything on the outside of the
Right.
facility and everything too.
Yeah, because you're on the moon, and it has that look to it. It is a lot more Mars moon look base kind of a thing as
Yeah.
well. And of course, because of the fact that the soldiers had already tried to take down all of these monsters and stuff anyway,
Mm-hmm.
there's armor and there's health and there's bullets and guns like all over the
Yeah,
place, and
just
that's what you're
littered.
using as you kind of go through.
Exactly. It's kind of fun too because like the face of the Doom guy on the bottom is very expressive.
Yes, very much so.
And
Explain.
well, because he'll like look back and forth, and he does like the rock
He
eye
lifts his
and stuff.
eyebrows.
Yes, and
Yeah.
then he like
That's
when
why
he's
that's why The
fighting,
Rock
he
thought that
like
he was Doom Guy, because he
that's
does the
probably why. But he does like this like face when he's fighting, and like if he finds like a gun or something, he gets like a hey hey and smiles like excited.
oh he gets like a very big grin on his face.
And then if you get hurt, he starts to bleed and he looks beat up,
Right.
and you can actually like see your health visually.
Yeah, because everything is like first person, like we said. But yeah, you can see as his health goes down, he gets like a nosebleed at one point.
Mm-hmm.
Then he starts like bleeding more, and then like his eyes are all red and bloody, and there'll just be like blood all over his face, like the worse he gets,
Right.
until you would actually die. This is the first level that you go through is the hangar. A lot of the music that you find throughout the entire game is inspired by different metal bands. This is supposed to be the first level that is supposed to be based off of No Remorse or Master of Puppets, like Metallica songs, I
Oh,
guess.
okay.
Who knew?
I,
And
I honestly didn't.
you just kind of go through the first level of the hangar. You're trying to get used to the game, that sort of stuff. I don't think there's anything to really talk about when it comes to the hangar. I'm going to see if there's anything to talk about when it comes through each level as we kind of go through this. You have to flip switches. You have to
Right.
find like elevators and stuff like that. And then everything that you need to know is at the bottom of your screen. Like you said, the Doom guy is very expressive, but you have your health and your ammo for
Yes.
each gun. You
Right.
can see that.
Yeah, and
And
there's like a
then
number
you have your
pad because you
armor.
have guns under each number.
Right. If you want the pistol, you press 2. If you want the
Yes.
shotgun, you press
Press
3.
3. Uh, and they go up from there. And if you don't want anything in your hands, do you press 1? Because I'm pretty sure that's also a thing too. You
That's
can
right.
have like
Yeah, you
empty
can fight
hands.
with just your hands.
You can just
Because
punch
there's
him.
part not necessarily in this one, but in Inferno for sure. Like there are areas where you will run out of ammo pretty quickly because
Right.
there's just not supposed to be as much ammo at that point. So you have to be like very, like you said, like you have to kind of
Gotta be strategic.
yeah of when you're going to use this ammo. The second map is the nuclear plant. There's more zombie men, there's more imps, there's more secrets on this one, but nothing kind of out of the ordinary. Again, there's different keys that you have to get through in this one too. Nothing that kind of springs to mind. The only thing I could say is you do end up being able to get the chain gun in this particular map.
Yes. Is that the chain? Does the chain gun? I'm trying to remember what it does. So I'm like, I know it like spins and it does that, but does it also
Yeah.
overheat? Is that the one that overheats, or is that in a different game?
I think in a different Doom game it will overheat. I don't
Okay.
think it overheats in
In
this.
the
It
first
just
one?
it uses the ammo so quickly
Oh, it's so
that
fast.
you end up with a ton of it, but it goes away so fast. It is good for if there's like a ton of guys though, because you can take them down a lot
Yeah,
easier
if you get
if you just kind of
surrounded.
chain them.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then at the end of each one of these maps, you're trying to find a door that says exit on it.
Yes.
because it's taking you, because I guess because of the fact that like it is Mars, like you kind of have to like have these like areas to go from place to place. So there's all of these kind of doors that take you from one part of the facility to the next part of the facility, and that's what you're trying to do in this episode,
It
is
makes
just go
sense
from,
that they're all connected that way. Yeah. And there's probably like a main exit space too.
yeah, I would say so. I think that's what he's trying to find, is like, how the hell do I get out of here? Oh crap! Now I'm stuck in this waste facility. Was this the game that you could try to go through walls, and then if you did it wrong, you would end up stuck in a wall?
You mean like to speed run it or like to cheese the game
I
a
don't know
little
if it
bit?
was. Well, I don't remember if it was to speed run it, but like, oh, I don't want to use IDKFA. I'll just use the one where you can walk through the walls. But if you did it wrong, you'd end up either stuck in the wall, or you'd end up like outside of the map, and it would be like you'd just be like, ah, crap, I'm stuck in the stairs.
That does feel very familiar. I think it might be this one.
It could have been Doom 2
It
too,
might
but
it's
I
one of
keep
the
thinking
dooms
that it
I
was a
feel like
Doom.
we've done that before where we walked through the wall and went, "Oh crap." I went through the wrong
Yeah.
spot.
The Toxic Refinery has like, some more outdoor areas where you'd get some like imps or some shotgun guys that you have to kill, like, and there's a lot of teetering on edges now because you could fall into the toxic waste at this point too.
Yes. And I do think that I remember when I was playing this the other day, there was like one part where I was going around and it was like a really skinny platform, and then there was actually a spot where you could jump down and like raise a
Yeah.
platform so it was like nice and large for you to like walk on, and I was like, "Oh,
Yep.
I see a button. I'm going to go press it."
Yep. Yeah, there's a lot of button pressing because like you'll be like, how the hell am I supposed to get over there to get that key? There's
Yes.
nothing to get, and you have to find the lever to press to be able to get over there so that you can press it, and then you can go back to the other room, and now there's suddenly like a platform to be able to walk through and stuff like
Yes,
that.
and it's
There's a lot of that
open
in Doom.
right.
Yeah. If you fall off at the one part though, I guess the donut shaped thing that I'm talking about on the Toxic Refinery level or map, that's it. You like have to
Well, if
kill
you fall
like
off
you
on
just
the
have to wait to
outer
die.
edge, if you fall off in the middle, you have a way to get out.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
I think you just have to succumb to your own stupidity of falling off if you fall on the outer edge.
Gotcha. Okay.
I don't know. Maybe there was a place around. All of a sudden, I have like this memory of if you did fall off, if you like ran around the corner, there is a place where you can press a button and you go up, and you can fight an imp. I think there actually is now that I'm thinking about it, and I want to go play the game to find out. But there might be. Go find out for me, somebody.
Folks at home, go find out. Write in and let us know. But yeah, all of the design of these first few levels are supposed to look a lot like a factory, a plant, or what have you. It is just like this big facility where
Right.
you're kind of going through and just knocking off all of these guys. You do end up finding a pinky here, so there is one of those. The other things that you can do, and I've never been able to really tell if it gives you any strategic advantage whatsoever, is invisibility.
Yes.
Because the second that you shoot, then they know where you are. So it's
Exactly.
like,
So
does
it's
that
like-
really help you?
And don't you want to kill everything? Why would you be sneaking? Like, what are you sneaking for?
I don't know if, yeah, has anyone played this game and tried to be stealthy?
Like, just sneak through and not kill everything? Because they give you this thing at the end of every level too, where it shows you like how many kills did you get? Did you find the secret rooms? Like, did you find all this like this stuff
Yeah, your stats.
and
They're
your
padding
items
your
and everything?
stats.
And it's like, well, wouldn't you want 100% it? Like, why would I want to be like 0%? I didn't kill one thing and I got through it. I guess that's like some weird achievement, I guess, if you want to think of it that way. Like, I killed
isn't
nothing
that-
and I got through the levels.
I'm sure there's a YouTube video of I beat Doom without firing a single shot or something
Right.
stupid. I don't know how you could do that though, because you have to kill the demons at the end of the game. Because like I could see somebody speed running through and getting to the exit on
Oh,
each
yeah,
level maybe
that's
by
true.
doing that. But how would you actually win the game without? So maybe that's the achievement. I don't know. It's whatever. It's stupid. Whatever. Russ, whatever.
Yeah, it's one of those things.
The other one that you do that you can get, and if you don't have God mode on, I cannot for the life of me figure out how this is supposed to help you. And that's Berserk mode. Do you remember Berserk mode, Rachel?
I kind of remember Berserk mode.
It would just make you like up, I guess, and you would like go after.
You'd get faster,
the-
wouldn't you?
you'd get faster and your fists would come out and you could like punch,
Yes, your
like one punch could like
fists.
kill. Yeah.
Right.
So like one punch could kill, but you have to get so close to them that yeah, your one punch might kill them, but they're gonna scratch you or something
Right.
still.
And it doesn't protect
So
you
I
from it. You're just going berserk.
yeah, so I always was kind of like, yeah, I guess so, but like in reality, are you really? Is it really helping you out? Because you're still kind of like, all right, I'm still getting like shot or whatever.
Right.
So yeah, there is that in there as well is the berserk mode. But between those two, I've always been kind of like, all right, what's the point of this, really? Like the armor and stuff does a lot more for you than any
Oh,
of that other.
yes. And you can like just constantly pick it up. It's not like once you hit 100%, you can't pick up anymore. You can still pick up more. You can get to like 200% and stuff like
I think you
ridiculous.
get to like 200% armor or something, or yeah, maybe
Yeah.
both of it. Yeah,
There's like a big
yeah,
health
for
thing you
sure.
can get that gets you like really high health at some points, but that is all you want to do is
Now,
like continuously find as much health and armor as you possibly can.
yeah, because I mean, if you're playing this game like us, you're not like an expert at it. You're gonna have some issues. Apparently, there is a secret base or a secret level that you can exit from here called the command control. I don't know if I've ever been able to do that, but apparently there is. It doesn't really say that there's anything like crazy. There's 16 imps and 7 demons in this maze.
I mean, you may have done it
Uh,
before and you just don't realize it was a
oh,
secret level.
probably. That's also probably true. Yeah, I'm sure like I have actually done it. But yeah, so the command control, you go through this maze where there's a bunch of imps and pinkies and you have to try to get out of there. It's one of those levels where it's like very very much a maze. Is
Right.
how kind of how I would describe it. It's kind of hard, like we said, it's very hard to talk about this game because all you're doing this entire time is just
Oh yeah, you're just blasting
going
away
around
as you
shooting
run around in
things.
circles.
Yeah,
You find
so it's very
items
difficult to kind of say.
and you do all of this, but I mean the levels they do change up a little bit. It's not all like samey, so it's
No, the
good
maps are
that
all
way.
different.
Yeah.
Yeah, the maps are all different. It's just like it's hard to describe without saying like, okay, then there's more like of a maze, and then you kill more imps, and then there's shotgun guys. Some of the stuff that I like on the control, in particular on the control level, or the next level after this Phobos lab level, is there's like these circular rooms. There could be like entrances or exits or like things that you have to get in these rooms that are kind of circular based, but because it's circular based, they can kind of surround you. So a lot of the
Yes.
strategy, a lot of the times, is you can back up and you can kind of stop yourself from being attacked because you can put a wall to your back,
Hmm.
so you can kind of shoot or you can go around the corner and shoot. The circular rooms you can't really do that because they'll just kind of surround you. So that's also a good one where it becomes kind of a different strategy because you're gonna be surrounded by these guys and it becomes harder to do. I also like sometimes when the demons will turn on each other because the
Right.
demons can
If
hit
they
each
hit
other
each
if
other and then they
they're
like start
all
going after each other.
because they're all trying to attack you, and at different points they can kind of stop and actually fight, hit each other. I guess fight each other is probably not the term I want, but like they'll like get pissed off at each other, so they'll like kind of throw stuff at each other and be like, "Stop it" or "Knock it
Right.
off,"
Like you
so they
hit
can like end
me.
up killing each other.
Sure.
So some different things about, like we said, there's the maps and there's the circles and the mazes. These first 4 or 5 levels are probably the things that you can play easiest. I don't remember if like when you get in like you could do it in, you know,
Oh, you could do those
an
really
hour.
quickly. Those were really quick.
Yeah.
Probably 20 minutes. They give you the time too that you've done it. So it's like 11 to 15 minutes I think is what my average was because I was like running around trying to find all the secrets too. So I want to say that like those first few levels within that stage, I was or like the first few maps or whatever you want to call it in that stage,
Mm-hmm.
I was doing pretty quickly. So I feel like I was getting through it like only in like a half hour or like 45 minutes, and that was probably
Yeah.
like my limit for the game too at a time, but it felt pretty quick.
All right. So the first kind of thing that I mentioned as being like interesting. So you get through the first like 7 levels or whatever, and you're just kind of going through the Phobos anomaly. I think is what the is the last map that you have to get through in Knee Deep in the Dead. So you've made your way through all of the different places that you can go on Phobos in the facility, and you end up here. And this must be the place where the portal is at. Like, this is where they're doing the experiments, is in this section of the facility.
Right.
So what you do is you click a switch or flip a switch, and it opens up to this pen of pinkies. They look like a bunch of like pigs in a pen, and inside the pen with all these pinkies. So it almost looks like a place where they're like dumping the nuclear waste.
It does look like a dumping area because they have like a hole in the ground. They have like toxic waste tubs around it. It's almost like they're waiting for it to fall, like to drop, like the levels to drop a little bit so they can pour more in. It's very interesting.
But the pinkies have basically made it into this like home base facility where they're just kind of like all hanging out. This is where they look like chickens or pigs.
They do kind of. They look like chicken pigs. Yes. Which are they eating the toxic waste and like becoming even more like?
That's a fascinating question.
Like, did they actually look a little different? And now they're like even more demented because of the toxic waste. Is it like catnip to them? They're like, oh yes, they actually brought us food. Yes. This is fantastic.
Here in hell, we like toxic waste the most. It's a fascinating theory. Is this why they wanted to come to Phobos? Because they were like, oh, we can sense the toxic waste.
Ooh, maybe that's what it is. They're sensing it through the portals. They're like, wait, toxic waste,
but
and then they like jump through.
Yeah, the way that they have this set up, though, I feel like the pinkies, it's like a holding pen for them.
It almost feels like a holding pen.
Like, oh, just shove all the pinkies into that holding pen over there.
Yeah, they'll be fine.
Shove them all into that pen.
Yeah.
They're fine. Because I feel like the pinkies of all of the demons are the ones with the least cognitive ability.
I think that's probably true.
That makes sense.
They're a bit more animalistic than everything else. In look and in like demeanor.
I have to take the pinky for a walk.
Why is he becoming the guy from Monk?
Well, I'm trying to do Satan from South Park. The guy from Monk is close. Yeah.
Well, I figured he was like the general guy, you know? I don't know.
Yeah, no, I got it.
Maybe he's working with Satan. Maybe they're friends.
Oh, yeah. First I found, First I was a serial killer who would kill big fat women, and then I became a sergeant with Monk, or whatever my title was, captain.
So you can do this easily because you're on like a ledge, and you can shoot at the barrels.
Oh yeah, and they blow up.
And they'll kind of set off this chain, this explosion chain, and it kills most of the pinkies, and then you just kind of have to like, shoot the rest of them that don't die a couple of times, because they'll come running after
the stragglers then after that.
Yeah. And that's not too hard. It's a good little spot, though. I liked it. I thought it was a nice spot.
Well, yeah, because, it's like it opens up to it. You're, like, in this little claustrophobic box that, like, opens up to that pen, too. So it's interesting.
You then open up another door, and it looks a lot less like just a generic kind of factory warehouse type of place.
Yes.
Now there's, like, rock walls. There's candles lit. Like,
these crazy candles with, like, skulls. Like, aren't they, like, skull candles?
Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
They look like they're like insane candles. Looking. Like, I don't know if they're taking the bodies of the Marines and like turning them into lamps, but that's what it is. I think that's what it is.
I think that's kind of what it is. That's correct. Well, because they're like clearly trying to do some, like they're setting it up, right, to be something. So they're like taking it over.
Something big is happening.
the way that the developers describe it is like the influence is taking over. So it's becoming more hellish the longer the demons are all there. But I think that the demons are also, like, setting the stuff up and whatnot.
Oh, I bet the little minions are just like, hold on, we gotta get this ready for our bosses to come in. And so they're just like, let's put some skulls here, we'll put some lights in.
Oh, put a little skulls. Oh, we gotta get ready for the boss. Put some skulls over here. You guys set up, that
the damn pinkies are getting in the way. Put them in their pen.
Right there. Put the pinkies in a pen. We don't need the pinkies shitting all over the floor when the boss gets here.
You could probably put some of the toxic waste around here, but make sure that hell river, is flowing nicely.
Oh yeah, because the boss he's gonna miss seeing the blood river. So put some of that toxic waste over here. It looks festive enough. Guys, can we get another headless corpse in here? Thank you. That's very feng shui's with the candles.
Exactly.
So you go through it. You go through a gator door, and you end up coming face to face with the big boss battle that you've been kind of leading up to at this point. You click a switch, you go up a stage, because like they do a pretty good job of making it seem like you have to get to this area that is where the portal was. So like there's a bit long empty hallway, and you kind of go through that, and then you end up in this room where there's like wide stairs. There's two like door things on either end. It looks like there's the toxic waste is floating above you almost. It's like become the sky.
Yeah.
And
maybe
then
it like stained the ceiling or something. I don't know.
Well, I think it's supposed to just be like the dimensions are
they're
like
colliding.
interact. Yeah, something like that maybe. I don't know.
Right.
Yes, right. And you come face to face with the big bosses of this episode, which are the Hell Barons.
Yes.
And there are two of them.
Yes.
Rachel, would you like to talk about and describe the Hell Barons?
So, if you think of Satan, with the big horns on his head and his like,
as we all know,
and
we
the
all
horse
know
feet.
Satan.
That's kind of what it is, right? They're red. They have very animalistic, like, muzzle, like, jaws. It's like almost like a minotaur because it's got like the massive horns on top. Honestly, the legs look funky to me. It looks like they're wearing khakis. So they're wearing some khaki pants, and they have horse hooves.
It does look like they're wearing khakis. I don't know if that's supposed to be like fur.
It's supposed to be their fur.
But it does make them look like
and very muscular, incredibly muscular.
I can't go to Phobos naked. I need to put on some pants.
But their hands glow, and like this green glow.
They throw shit at you.
Yeah, they
Isn't
throw stuff at you, I think. But
I don't know what it is. It's like fire, hellfire, or something like that.
But it's green. It's weird. I would have expected it.
Let me see if it says.
Does it have like a descriptor
of like what they are?
The Baron of Hell. The Doom 2 has a manual has a description of them.
Oh, interesting.
The Hell Knight was bad news, but this is Big Daddy. These bruisers are a lot like Hell Knights, but look a little different and are twice as tough to kill.
They just look a little different.
Yeah, what the hell is that? Like, I don't even like your description of it. They're the Bruiser Brothers, is what they call.
Yeah, these guys are the Bruiser Brothers. Yeah, the projectile being thrown is some sort of fireball. Is what it says.
I mean, it makes sense. Like it could be like a plasma ball. Maybe it's something a little bit more like that. Because I just think the color is interesting.
The Barons of Hell would kind of become a bit of a, that one of those sketches that kind of shows up on the covers of different Doom stuff and things like that, along with the Kako Demon or whatever. Like, they kind of come back a lot.
Yes.
Oh, do you want to know what the Doom Instruction Manual says about them?
Yes.
They're tough as a dump truck and nearly as big. These Goliaths are the worst thing on two legs since Tyrannosaurus Rex.
They're such corny descriptions. It's hilarious.
Oh yeah, they're very very corny when it comes to describing these guys.
It's great.
So you have to take out these two guys. If you've got like a chain gun or a shotgun, or you need probably a larger gun to take them out. And then what makes it even kind of harder is that there's two of them, but I think there's a wide enough area that you can probably maneuver yourself around from being kind of, crushed by them.
Right.
Because
and there is a strife ability in the game, so like you can like move left to right. I was never good at strife.
And you might as well use all your ammo because you're going to lose it because this is the end of the stage anyway.
Exactly.
So,
this is the time. Put away those fists and bring out the guns.
Bring out the big guns. But yeah, so once you get them, once you are able to defeat them, that is, I'm pretty sure, the end of the episode. Or what happens is, you need to find a button, and there's this big like open space on the map. Like once you kill the barons, you kind
Yeah,
of can
well,
go down to like this almost outside.
You're on like a stage that is the shape of a pentagram, I think is the idea.
Yeah, I think that's the idea. Yeah.
Because it's got pointed pieces
We had
to
no
it.
idea
It's a
what we were
star.
doing.
It's a pentagram.
It's a pentagram. And you're trying to get your way kind of out of the portal. You're trying to find the portal because you think if you can use the portal, you either make your way to Deimos and you think maybe I'll be okay there,
Right.
or you're thinking I need to get the hell out of here because
You need to at least get away from this place and get to somewhere
Right.
else. And hopefully it's safer than this.
Mm-hmm. So you click the button. Once you find it, these kind of stairs form, and you get to like the top of this ramp, and you're able to go through the portal.
Yeah, you look at this portal? Did you look at this thing? Is this what this company was drawing on stuff to make? Like, no, they are just kind of like requesting the demons of hell to come get them. Like, I'm just like, yes, let me draw this dragon-looking thing, and then I'll put,
That's right.
a circle. When, you know what? Why not draw a star on top of that? What are you thinking's gonna happen? What do you think is gonna happen?
So you think that somebody might have been a little bit into it or something?
They might have been. They might have been. I don't know. It's like, where did they come up with this? That like, what are they trying to actually do here?
Mm-hmm.
Except like summon a demon. It doesn't make any sense.
You're clearly trying to summon a demon. Very clearly.
Who wasn't paying attention? They're just like, yeah. That guy's just doing his job over there, opening the portal. I don't have to care what he's drawing. It's fine.
He's like cutting his hand and like smearing blood all over the place. And they're like, "Yeah, you're doing great, Fred. Keep building that portal. It's fine."
He's singing, he's just singing to himself as he does it, but he's actually like using a summoning spell. Come on.
That's just Fred.
It's just Fred. Anyways.
But because there's no other way out, you feel like you have to use this.
Yep.
So you do, and in so doing, you end up going through this portal to Deimos, which unfortunately pulls you into where I guess they were waiting for you.
They seem to be just camping on it. It's like, what are you doing?
Well, I guess the barons were like, hey, we're going to stop this Doom guy or whatever.
And then we'll come see you guys. Like,
yeah, but you stay here because if he comes through with us or whatever, then we're just going to take him out.
Yeah.
Or maybe after the Barons of Hell went through, somebody was like, those guys are always fucking up. Like, just stay.
Let's just make sure they didn't like screw around and play with their food.
Yeah, they're known to like screw up. So you go through the portal, and now you're on Deimos, the second moon base, but you've been attacked by all of the demons.
Yeah, there's like monsters in the dark.
Ends.
Yep.
It just ends abruptly.
It's a fade to black.
And that's the that is the end of that is how like the first like stage of Doom ended. You didn't know what else was going to happen. That is the end of Knee Deep in the Dead.
And you do get some dialogue.
You get a little bit of a description. It tells you what just happened to you.
It's kind of like you're
Rachel,
writing in your journal.
Yeah. It is. Dear Diary.
Do you want me to read it?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. Once you beat the big badasses and clean out the moon base, you're supposed to win. Aren't you? Aren't you? Where's your fat reward and ticket home? What the hell is this? It's not supposed to end this way. It stinks like rotten meat, but looks like the lost Deimos base. Is it Deimos or Deimos?
I don't know. I've been saying both. I don't know what it is.
Looks like you're stuck on the shores of hell. The only way out is through. To continue the Doom experience, play The Shores of Hell and its amazing sequel, Inferno.
Continue the Doom experience, play The Shores of Hell.
But I felt like that, like, aren't you? Like, I feel like he's, like, talking to himself at that point.
Yeah.
Like, I just did this. Yeah. Like, why am I not going
come
home?
Come on. I just went through this. What the hell?
Yep.
No
Literally.
pun intended. So yes, that is the end of Knee Deep in the Dead. Now you end up in The Shores of Hell, which is the second episode of Doom. And what you're doing in this one is you're going through Deimos, And it has obviously been influenced a lot more by hell being around. There's a lot more pentagrams, there's a lot more teleporters and stuff. There's upside down crucifixes and shit like that. So this one is a lot more taken over by hell.
Yes.
A lot more hellish aesthetic. And even the background has mountains against red clouds, like the sky is red at this point.
Yes,
And it's
exactly.
clearly obviously been like taken over a bit more.
Mm-hmm.
But somehow they didn't kill Doom Guy. They just kind of ambushed him, or maybe he got out of there
Maybe they
somehow.
ambushed him and he was able to like press a button to get through a door and keep them like locked in behind him. That's what I expect happened, type of thing. He like slid through somebody's legs. He's a military guy, you know?
Yeah,
He seems to know
that's
what the hell
true.
he's doing.
He's very good at yeah.
So-
He's clearly very good.
So my guess is that maybe he took a couple hits, you know, punched his way through, shoot, like slide through, close the door and lock it so that he at least was like by himself.
And there's flesh hanging sheets over walls now. Lava and blood are flowing and gathering
yeah.
in pools. There's vines
Great
overgrown on
aesthetics, you know?
things. Yeah,
Beautifully,
it has
beautifully decorated.
it's a mixture of the facility and what it once was, and now like a lot of that like futuristic look is kind of gone. It's a lot more hellish looking. And
Right.
if you, instead of like going into the slime or the toxic waste, if you go into this like blood or lava thing, like then you'll be hurt the same way that you would if you went into the toxic waste. So there is that same kind of thing there too.
And like all the buttons and stuff like turned into like skulls and things that now you have to press those
Yeah,
on the
even
wall.
the keys. To get the keys, which always feels great because you're like, all right, I'm gonna press this. I just hope nothing bad happens.
Right?
And the keys, instead of just being regular key cards now, they're like skull keys
Yes.
to get through. So like clearly it's a lot of influence is coming. There's more monsters. This is where the lost souls and the cacodemons come up. They weren't on the first episode. They're now on this one.
Right.
The Barons of Hell can be regular enemies, and you find the plasma rifle. So the plasma gun comes into town on this particular one as well.
Which, I mean, it does kind of look funky. We didn't really say like what the plasma gun looks like. It looks like an accordion. I always thought it looked like an accordion, the way it like has like the
plasma
ridges
gun,
and stuff
yeah,
on it.
it does, yeah, because it has the ridges.
Yes.
It almost feels like you're like pumping it to go like.
Yes, you have like the accordion
right?
sideways, and you're like holding it at people. I guess.
Yeah, I'll give
demons,
you
not
that.
people, but
Well, you know, demons are people.
some sort of person, I guess. Yeah.
Demon rights, Rachel. Yeah, you get a bunch of this kind of look and feel to it for sure as you kind of float through the different facilities here. There's a upside down crucifix on the wall. There's a room with narrow walls and stuff. A bunch of pinkies and imps here. There's teleporters that can regenerate your health. Pretty cool maps, I said, for this part of the game. I
Yeah,
thought.
it's really interesting the way it like flows together.
And a lot more mappy type of things where you get stuck in these rooms. You have to find the keys a lot more.
Right, bit more.
There's a lot
puzzly.
more, yeah, some more puzzles here. We get the introduction here of the big meatball demon, like I said. He throws blue fire at you. The plasma gun is here. The smirk when Doom Guy picks up some of these guns, in particular the plasma gun, is pretty good too.
Oh yeah, I love that he has like so much expression. I just can't
yeah,
imagine the
it's-
actual guy going, "Hey, cool." Like,
Well, I guess that's supposed to be the thing. Like he's so nonplussed about the
doesn't
fact
give a
that he has
shit.
to just murder all of these demons.
I mean, I
like,
guess
he's just
it's kind of like
whatever.
maybe does he think they're aliens or demons? Because maybe he thinks they're aliens. I mean, they are in outer space, right? So there's a potential that like maybe he's just like, yeah, aliens. And then it just kind of
I mean,
goes
that
with
would
it
be-
instead of going, yeah, we
Well,
opened
so-
a portal to hell and released the demons. Like,
I would think that it is
Which one's
aliens at
scarier?
first. I'm shitting my pants and killing myself in either event.
you're just like, I'm not having it either way.
It could be a comic booky type of thing where it's hell is another planet
Ah, fair.
and
yes.
they're aliens and from hell.
Yeah, that makes
so
sense.
you could have that going on. That's a Doctor Who story, I'm sure.
Yeah, probably.
The next kind of levels that you go through here looks kind of like a warehouse. There's a bunch of UAC just packages and stuff kind of stacked
Yes.
on top of each other. You're in the Amazon warehouse section of Deimos at
It's
this
just
point.
you're just going through the boxes. All the boxes are stacked to the ceiling and everything.
Yeah. I mean, they really are. And there's like more dead Marines and stuff like that. This is where the flaming Ghost Rider heads, known as the Lost Souls, come out. They're such a pain in the ass, those Lost Souls, too. Because there's always like a million of them. And they like
Yes.
charge at you. And it's so hard to take them down. It
Because
really
you have to be a
is.
little bit more precise with those for some reason, and it's obnoxious.
Again, the shotgun, pretty good to take those guys out. The plasma gun's pretty good to take those guys out. But they're so obnoxious.
Even in Doom 3, the plasma gun was like the best one to use against those, if I remember correctly.
I don't remember much about Doom 3, other than like you had to be kind of stealthy. It was a little more of a sneaky
That was a little bit
game.
more of a stealth, and it was fun.
And I remember that we got to hell at one point, but then we didn't know what to do.
Yeah, we kind of got
Like we got
we'll just leave this for later, and then we never came back to it.
yeah, pretty much, because we were like, this is going to be really hard and it's going to be frustrating. You need to get to the red key just to get through a door to click a switch that raises a platform so that you can get to the exit point. And I just wrote down, Doom, that seems about right. Just this convoluted way of having to like, yep, you need
Press
to get the
this
key so that
button.
you can get to the platform,
Now
so
do
that you can get
this
to the
part.
switch, so that you can move the platform up, so that you can get to the exit door, so that you can get through it.
Yep.
That all like brought back memories of like, oh yeah, I remember all of having to just the most convoluted
back
way
and
of
forth
getting
of
through
it.
this level. Well, there is a lot of back and forth too, because the one thing that you can do to be able to get through the radioactive waste is there's hazmat suits, and sometimes you'd have to put the hazmat suit on so that you could get like through this river, so that you could go click a button so that you can
Right.
get back, and there's all of that kind of shit going on. So there's a level that takes you to a part where there's a bunch of stuff behind walls that are slightly too close together to get through. Did you see this part, Rachel? So there's a bunch of stuff behind walls that are slightly too close together to get through at one point. The guy doing the walkthrough that I was watching did what I would do, because there's vases on either side, or like candle things. And he was like, I don't know what to do, so he just shot them to see. He
Yes.
just shot at it to see if it would open. I remember doing that a lot too in this game, where it was like, I don't know, just shoot it and see if something happens.
Right.
Which I
Well, I
think we
feel like
still-
that was
because-
part of it, though. Like, you do just have to shoot these things, and then stuff happens.
I feel like because of Doom, we still do that in video games to this day, where it's like, I don't know,
Yes.
just shoot something and see.
Oh
if
my
it
god,
if it
yes. There's a
works.
lot of games that have stuff like that, too, where it's like, you look at something and you're just like, that feels very video gamey. What if I just do this? Like, I have no idea where I'm supposed to go. I'm a little lost. But what if I just take this weird thing and I do this other weird thing with it, and then it works? And you're like, okay, I guess. Like, what's the logic
Like,
there?
all right, that's fine. There's a lot more mazes at this point, a lot of stuff that could crush you. You do start struggling with ammo at this part as well, and the next level has more pinkies and shotgun soldiers. A lot more hell imagery. At some point, I think as you get closer to the end of this episode, you see what looks like a beating heart on like a pillar. So they're clearly like doing like some sacrifices or something at this point. There's blood draining down the walls everywhere. And finally, they kind of surround you here. So this is you're like outside now, and there's mountains of what you think is Mars and stuff, and like a small platform. That was Command Center. Okay, I actually wrote that down. So like that one was called Command Center. Ton of guys on the next level. Again, you're surrounded in a circular room. This time, it's a lot of stuff that throw things at you. You get the yellow skull key. I guess because they've turned into the Shores of Hell, it's just like a ton of like different stuff. That's in Halls of the Damned. There's spawning vats is the next level. The score has a weird little beat to it in this one, I wrote down, because there's like this little like bring bring thing in the middle of the score. I have no idea if you can get to it, but it's a very odd score at that point. But let's get to the end of this. So you become invincible here too at some point.
Right.
Do you remember what happens
Isn't
when
that
you
like
become
where like
invincible?
the white screen where everything gets like
Yeah.
inverted?
It's so
It's
awful looking. It's so hard to look at. It's supposed to be because you're in his vision and his eyes like turn white or yellow or something like that. So you kind of are seeing it through his vision.
Right.
And it is like, I can't see.
It,
It's
like,
very
hurts your
hard to like.
eyes. Yes.
Yes.
Which I get that they're trying to make it interesting. The walls are moving at the same time too, so you're just like this weird wall is moving effect, and then you have this inverted vision, and you're like it's just a little like ugh.
Well, I think it's supposed to be like, okay, you're not totally indestructible because you have to deal with like some of this like crap. So
Right.
you can't just be like, oh, I just can just do whatever I want or whatever
Right.
because you can't really see. This whole thing leads up to the Tower of Babel, which is a level where you come out and it's clearly the end game for this stage. There's the Barons of Hell. Their like corpses are like hung to the wall. I kind of wondered if it was like since they failed, they like sacrificed them and like hung them on
Ooh.
the wall.
Yeah, I like that idea. Like the bigger bads. The bigger bads of the big bads that you already fought are now like in trouble. So they're like, no, we're gonna torture you, and we put them on the wall.
Yeah, you end up clicking a button and you end up going out and you're given a bunch of boxes of rockets and chain ammo and you're
They're
like,
like,
okay, what the hell's gonna happen?
it's like this guy wants you to fight him. Like, yeah, here's all your weapons. Like, see if you could kill me. And it's like, all right.
I like that. I could headcanon that. He does shoot rockets at you,
He
so maybe
does.
there's some of the
Oh, it's
rockets
just
he
like
found.
his
He was like,
stuff.
oh, this could be really fun. I'm gonna,
Oh,
like,
so
shoot
he like
these
cyborgs
rockets.
himself and like puts a gun as his arm and leg. Is that what you think it is?
Yeah. So he's the cyber demon.
Yeah.
Rachel, do you want to describe what this guy? This is the big boss fight at the end of this episode with the
Right.
cyber demon.
So picture the Hellish brothers. What were they called?
Hell Barons.
The Hell Barons, like, but bigger.
I like the Hellish brothers though.
He's bigger. He's got more of like this tan color to him. His stomach looks ripped open and stringy red. He's got like the larger horns around his face. And as I was saying, his left arm is made of metal and like a rocket, and his right leg is made of like metal. It looks like he looks cyborgish. He's like cyborg demon.
Yeah.
That's kind of how I'm going to describe it. Like it's almost like the wiring is in that stomach area, and it's like working with blood. I don't know. It's weird, but that's what he is, and he is a lot larger, so he looks taller than you when he gets closer.
Yes, he's very, very big. And so now you're in like this big open empty space again, and you can try to rocket launch at him or chain gun him to try to get him down. But yeah,
Right.
he's just this big demon looking thing. I couldn't tell if he was supposed to be related to the face that you're seeing on
I
all the walls.
You know what? I
Like
think
there's like
it's
I think
gotta be,
I think
'cause those
actually one of them
monoliths
is
have it on
him.
them too.
Yeah, yeah, because it looks like his face is one of them, and then because like the spider is on one of them, and then the Maofet or whatever the original sin demon or whatever is another one. But I think he is one of
I think
the
he is
guys on like
too.
the
I
yeah.
agree.
Eventually, you kill him, and after you kill him, Rachel, you get another journal entry. Do you want to explain what happens now?
You've done it. The hideous cyber demon lord that ruled the lost Deimos moon base has been slain, and you are triumphant. But where are you? You clamber to the edge of the moon and look down to see the awful truth. Deimos floats above hell itself. You've never heard of anyone escaping from hell, but you'll make the bastards sorry they ever heard of you. Quickly, you rappel down to the surface of hell. Now it's on to the final chapter of doom, Inferno.
Rachel, I have to ask you a question about this.
Yes, go ahead.
Why the hell do you do this? Why would he do this?
I guess because he does. What is his other choice? What is his other choice? He's gonna go out shooting, or
Yeah.
I guess take himself out. Because what else is he gonna do? Where is he gonna go?
You don't think that there's a way for him to kind of get home from here? He has to go through hell?
I kind of feel like at this point everything has phased together that he is just in hell. So he's probably just like, I guess this is it. This is all I have now.
I guess this is it, yeah.
Because I
Yeah.
don't like, where else is he gonna go? What would you do at this point? Like, where would you go to get out?
Oh, fair enough. Yeah, I guess you'd have to. All right, so Inferno starts, and it starts at what looks like this is what I wrote down. You're like in this thing. It looks like you're like on skin or some sort of like living thing.
Yes. It looks like you're in like, oh.
It's either the last human from Doctor Who or a vagina. Take your pick.
Uh...
Turns out it was an eye because you could like click
yeah,
it.
when it opens.
So like that would
yeah.
like don't you kind of want the live action version of this where like it's like this big like gooey eye where he has to like
Yes.
touch it and like
Yes.
then it
Ugh.
so
You can tell it's
there
got
you
to be
go.
like real. Like yes, I would imagine it to be like really gooey and gross and almost tentacle like and
Hmm.
because the ground looks like it's made of like snakes and tentacles. So
Yeah, I thought it was like brains or
oh,
something.
you think? Oh, it does kind of look like a brain because it's got like the ridges and stuff. Fair.
Yeah.
That's also a good one. Or
So
intestines. You know,
yeah, intestines could have been as well. So
it's
some
a
cool
living
art design
thing.
again. It's a living thing. Yeah, it's clearly like a living thing. The art design is very cool again here. I guess the idea is that you're in hell now, so like everything is brick and marble and wood.
Right.
All the doors have like these demon faces and stuff on them and stuff like that.
Glowing red and dark and dead.
I did feel like watching walkthroughs of this that the levels are shorter here in hell versus the second part, especially. I think the second part had the longest levels to
Yeah.
me anyway. There does appear to be a lack of ammo and more soul-related demons, though, in this part, so that's something different. Like, there's less zombified guys. There's more,
Yeah,
like,
I think
imps
less
and
of
pinkies.
I think less of the Marines were able to get to this point, maybe.
Right.
And
Well,
so
there
they
are
weren't able to be
parts of this
zombified.
where that's true. Because I feel like some of them they zombified, they just had, like, waiting here to, like, join the army kind of a
That's
thing, you know
what
what I'm
it's gotta
saying?
be. Yeah. You're now in the army of hell.
The walkthroughs that I watched too, some of them were like flying out of there without taking a lot of guys out because there's just a lot of demons to fight, and I wonder if that's a strategy that you almost have to do because you don't have a lot of ammo and there's just a ton of more guys down here
So
because
you
you're like
have to
in
be a
hell
lot
now.
quicker. You can't like just mosey on about.
Yeah. There's a rotating wall of intestines at one point.
Fun. Always great.
Uh, there's
Sounds like
more
a
hell
beautiful room.
barons. There's a lava river.
Yes.
And finally, we find the BFG 9000.
That's right.
Was hidden in hell the whole time. So somebody must have been like, we need to get the big fucking gun. And when they got there, they were taken over or whatever, but they like, stashed the big fucking gun somewhere just in case someone was able to get down there.
Maybe.
So now you finally have in this third episode the BFG, which like
You don't get a lot of
then the
ammo
question
for
of
this
course
guy
is
either, though.
no, you can shoot it like 3 times.
That's it.
So you have to be very, very careful about when you use this thing. If you are going to use it, you have to use it when you're like surrounded and there's like no other choice
Absolutely.
but to like use the BFG. And the BFG shoots out this like green burst that like
Yes.
takes out anything in front of you.
It's almost like it's like a contained nuke type of thing. Because it's just
Yeah,
like a massive
that is-
like boom
yeah.
blast.
Mm-hmm. You kind of want to know like why was this even there? Like why was this on this moon base? But I guess with all the Marines and stuff, it kind of makes some sense of why it
Yeah.
would be there.
I mean, maybe they were also into weapons or something, and or
Yeah.
maybe the scientists knew we needed to have some type of protection, so they were making weaponry out of like the stuff that they were finding inside of these portals. I don't know. There could be like a lot to that because if it's like that green color, it's like the Demon Brothers' hands. Like all of it seems to
True.
be maybe a little connected.
So some of these levels, I think the Pandemonium level, you have to get past another Hell Baron. You have to do that so that you can get the key, but you have rockets now and more health and ammo. So you're able to kind of like get past the Hell Baron, and you have to get the blue key, kind of a tricky spot. All of the keys are in kind of some tricky spots in here. In House of Pain, there's I wrote down, why does Hell have so many exploding barrels and levers? There's a lot of levers and exploding barrels in here.
Well, I mean, I could see them having the levers. Maybe the barrels just came from our world. Maybe they came from Mars.
They brought them with?
I don't know. If we're saying like the two worlds are kind of like we're interconnecting, and then now like hell is completely taken over, maybe the barrels just came with our world, like the BFG.
Yeah, that's probably fair. We're bringing the barrels in there. We're gonna kill them with the toxic waste. Some invulnerability comes in handy. There's some outdoor levels where you're like outdoors most of the time. Quite a bit you're actually outdoor. And there's some like trial and error where there's a lot of teleporters in this, where they're like pentagrams on the ground where you can teleport from one area of the map to another. And you have to go and do a lot of teleporting to try to figure out how to get to the areas where you can get the keys, or you can click the lever to like raise the platforms and stuff like that. So more
Yes.
puzzles type stuffs. We can probably skip past a lot of this, but again, like the art design's very good. It's all very hell based, but the shorter levels and things like that as you kind of go through. But
Are
we've
we
kind
in
of
the
discussed
Slough of
all of the different.
Despair?
I'm sorry.
Which map are we looking at this point?
I'm just kind of talking in general.
Oh, okay, because like sometimes like you can bring up the map too. Like I don't see the point of bringing up the map honestly because it doesn't pause. One, you can move around. Like the only way to like you can actually move while looking at the map, but it's literally just like lines and here's your little dot of yourself. The Slough of Despair is it looks like a hand. It looks like a hand that you're going through. I just thought it was
Oh,
really
like the
interesting.
map
So
does?
yeah,
Oh,
so
that's
I wonder
interesting.
what the other maps actually like look like in
Well, you
terms
can
of
look on the wiki.
shapes because that could be really cool.
They've got them all on the wiki. Take a look. Oh yeah, it does look kind of like a hand.
Isn't
You're
that
right.
neat?
It is a hand. Yeah. Well, let's see if any of the other ones do. So
I was like, oh,
Pandemonium.
that's kind of fun that it has like that shape to it. Oh, look at the first one. It looks like a body.
Oh, does it?
I think it does.
Oh, that which makes sense because we said it was like living.
Yeah. So if you look at it, it kind of looks like the internal organs. Like,
Okay. They did that with some of them for sure then. The rest of them, I don't see a shape, but you're better at figuring that out than me.
a couple of them are just kind of like, eh. Yeah, that one looks like
You can
some
kind of
weird, like,
tell.
arrow thing.
Unholy Cathedral has like a cross type of look to it.
Yeah.
That one looks very short. That one's that Mount Erebus must be the outdoor one because that one looks pretty short.
Mm-hmm.
Or Erebus, and Limbo.
Because I would imagine those are the only ones that would be a little bit more interesting than like if we go back and look at the other ones. Those aren't going to have like a fun
Right,
shape
because it's just
those are, like,
facilities. Yeah,
facilities.
yeah, and this is like a big cross or an X too.
Yeah.
So you end up with the final level here, Dis, where you fight a giant brain spider that is apparently the mastermind behind the attack on UAC.
Yeah, the mastermind, it's a brain.
Oh, is that why?
Uh-huh.
That's stupid. So,
I mean, it's probably not why, but just making a stupid joke. I mean, maybe it is.
no,
It is kind of
probably
corny.
is.
It is kind of corny.
Because everything about this is a little bit of corn in it. So this is just called the Spider Demon. He's the boss of this episode. In the walkthrough that I watched, Rachel, he just had some BFG ammo stored up and just unloaded on this fucking thing.
I mean, that feels about
I-
right.
I feel like it would be that or like the plasma. You would just kind of go ham on it.
Right,
and
and
try
you
to
just
take him
keep
down.
trying to like strafe away as you're shooting and
Eventually, you're able to take this thing down. Do you want to describe what the Spider Demon is? I guess you kind of did. It's just a brain with spider legs.
yeah. So it's mechanically though. It looks like mechanical. It's got like it's a giant brain, but it has like a face that looks like, creepy, spidery, like sharp teeth, and then it has like the spider body. Like picture the creepy toy that Sid put together from Toy Story.
Yeah.
But then
okay.
make it demonish, like
Yeah.
because that's what it is. It's like a head on mechanical spider legs.
Mm-hmm.
And he's got like does he have like a Gatling gun in like the middle too or something?
I think it's a plasma rifle that he he
just
shoots
looks,
at you.
It looks circular, so it
Yeah,
just made me
yeah.
think of like the other gun that we have, but
But same idea.
Right.
For sure. Yeah, so eventually you're able to kind of take him down by using the guns at your disposal, whatever you might have.
Yes.
I really think it kind of comes down to using the
Just stay
BFG,
alive
using the plasma rifle.
and shoot as
Yeah.
much as you can.
So once you defeat him, a hidden doorway opens and you enter it. And you get the final journal message, Rachel. Would you please to share?
Of course, of course. The loathsome spider demon that masterminded the invasion of the moon bases and caused so much death has had its ass kicked for all time. A hidden doorway opens and you enter. You've proven too tough for hell to contain. And now hell at last plays fair. For you emerge from the door to see the green fields of Earth. Home at last. You wonder what's been happening to Earth while you were battling evil unleashed. It's good that no hellspawn could have come through that door with you. ...
Dot dot dot.
I mean,
And then we get essentially a cutscene.
there's a bunny.
There's a bunny in a field and a sunset. You are supposed to believe that this is Doom Guy's rabbit, his pet rabbit named Daisy.
Are you really?
Yeah, so I'll mention that in a second. So there's a
I
there's a
don't know
bunny.
this.
There's a bunny eating in a field. There's like a sunset, but as you kind of pan over to the left, the city is on fire, and then there's the decapitated bunny. So it's supposed to be like he is truly home, but instead of finding the bunny in the field, what he found was the decapitated bunny of his pet. So now it's John Wick. Now it's like
now it's
personal.
John
Like he's
Wick.
yeah.
I didn't know that was supposed to be his pet bunny. That's weird.
Yeah, I think that's canonical because I think that even in one of these games or something, like he has a rabbit's foot because it's Daisy's foot or something like that.
I think I remember the rabbit's foot. I always thought that was like for luck or something. I thought he was trying to be lucky, but
He's trying to
it's
keep
just
his
it's his pet. It's his pet's foot.
Yeah. So this would lead you directly into it's kind of a
Montage?
cliffhanger
Oh, a
ending.
cliffhanger. Yes.
Where now you don't get to see like that's the end of the game,
Right.
and this is kind of where it leaves off. In the original Doom, this was the end of the game. It comes up, it says the end, and it just shows you like the city is on fire and him holding the dead rabbit head. So you don't really know what happens next. Subsequent editions of Doom would include 2 more episodes where it was just them kind of fighting on Earth. It was like a prelude to it, and then it turned out, and then they retconned it to be like, oh, that wasn't really Earth. It was like Limbo.
Okay.
And that's why like he could directly see, like, because they figured out who the Hellspawn figured out who he was, and so then they kind of like killed Daisy and like it sent her to Limbo and tried to like keep him in Limbo or something like that. I think is the idea.
They were
I
trying
don't
not
know.
to let him go home, and they wanted to trick him into thinking like that's kind
Yeah.
of his own personal hell almost.
Right. So folks at home, I'm sure that there is some other thing about it, but like that's kind of where that leaves off anyway. So that truly is the end of Doom. There's 2 more episodes that you could go through, but again, it's the same stuff pretty much over and over. In fact, the bosses at the end of that are just the Spider Demon and the Hell Baron again. So really, that is the end of Doom, the video game from 1993. So Rachel, we have gotten through the video game Doom. We've walked through it, or at the very least, we've discussed all the different parts of it. I don't think that we have missed anything that would be relevant to the gameplay or to the story, really. You're going to have a hell of a time editing that.
Yep.
So, Rachel,
Woo,
it is
fun.
it is that time of the episode where I will send it over to you. Does Doom have shelf life?
With the way like this game brought about like this whole like era of more games and everything.
Yeah.
The way that they put the engines together and they were able to get like this 3D look, kind of like faked it almost, and like all of the different graphics, and like they have a bunch of different demons, and it's like really interesting and fun. I like how all of it's put together. Now, the mechanics of the game are old and clunky. And going back and actually playing it, it's very old and clunky, right? So I mean, obviously that part of it has aged itself and all of that kind of stuff, but I still think the game is really fun. I like how you can just kind of like go through and have a good time just having like some shoot 'em ups and like finding all the different secrets and everything. For me, the game is still on the shelf. I think it deserves to be on the shelf for what it is and what it has made me to this day. Let's get corny with it the way it does, but I mean, I think it's fun. I know it is like really clunky and everything, and would I want to play it again? Yeah, I'll play it again. Probably not for like hours on end because I wouldn't be able to, but
Yeah.
it's still fun to kind of go back and play it and relive all those different types of ways of playing and the old ways of playing.
Okay. On my end, and maybe you helped me frame this up more, because I've been I've been teetering between the shelf and the box with this one. Hear me out
No,
before
I
you all
think I
take the
understand.
pitchforks. For me, so I've never been that big of a video gamer necessarily. I mean, as a kid I was more, but I kind of stopped, and now it's just I don't have a lot of time to do it. My liking of video games has always been more on the casual side of like I'm building a city or I'm building a roller coaster or whatever, more so than the first person shooters. Even when we used to play like Call of Duty and stuff, Rachel,
Oh yeah.
it always was like this is frustrating. I
Yes.
don't want to deal with this. I want to
Sure. And
relax
we
and
would
enjoy it.
then the ways we would play the first person shooters, and people probably think it's kind of weird. The way we would do it is we would actually play those together, and if we got to a point where one of us wasn't able to get through the part, we'd switch controllers.
You just switch controller, yeah. You would
and
do
that
each
the
one.
other
We
person
just do
would
level to
most likely be
level.
able to do it.
Yeah. And
Right.
sometimes if we had one of my friends over, it would be like the three of us doing it or whatever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so I think that might have gotten us through those first person shooters, so we wouldn't get as
Yeah.
frustrated.
And I was thinking about the fact that just watching a walkthrough of it was giving me that headache of I've been looking at this too long or playing it too long
Yeah.
that I did get as a kid when I would try to play it. So then I'm like, would I really play this again? I don't know. So that's why I was like leaning toward it. But to your point, if you can somehow stagger it and play like I'm gonna play 30 minutes of it and see
Yeah.
like the only
And
thing
it's
the only
it's
thing that I
not
could-
like an arcade game where it's like, oh, well, you have to play it and then you have to put the cheat code in to get
Right.
to the right level. You can save.
Right.
You can go to each level like
Right.
specifically.
Yeah.
So
So I guess in that way, and because like you're saying, it's like important to like us as like being one of those like first violent, ultra violent kind of video games that we like
Yeah.
were exposed to. I guess I could say it's very light on the shelf, but it's on that shelf probably more because of what it means, or like so that you could
Yes.
kind of show somebody like here's Doom, like this is what everything that you know is a video game now derives from.
mhm.
As far as that first-person shooter violence type of game. This is where all the controversy stems from. It's because of
Sure,
Doom.
that too.
So for that reason, I think I could allow it to be on the shelf. Would I revisit it again? Maybe in little chunks, like I said, but
It's more of a box
I-
game that way.
yeah, and that's where I'm like, okay, is it going in the box because like it just needs to be there because of what it means to everybody? But I can allow
And you pull it out
because
and go,
if not,
let me show you this.
yeah, but I could allow it to be on the shelf to be like a let me show you this more so than the box necessarily. But it is very it's teetering. I could be convinced either way really with this one because of the mechanics like you're saying. The gameplay is just so it can be repetitive.
It is repetitive and it's just a little clunky because you can't jump, you can't look around.
Yeah.
It's
So I will put it
stagnant.
this way, because again, I'll say it's shelf life, but only if I'm playing with someone, only if somebody else is there and we're doing it together. I
Yes.
would not
It's a
just
share
be
it
like
with
I'm
somebody.
gonna play. It's after work. I want to relieve some stress or whatever. I'm just gonna play Doom for a little while. I'm not gonna do that because that's not just what this game is to me. I think this game is more of like a community, like a few people are sitting by the laptop or the computer or the PlayStation or whatever, and we're gonna have some fun with each other. We're trying to get through these levels, figure out the puzzles and shit, and getting the keys and stuff like that.
Yes. It's
Otherwise,
a bit
it's
more
gonna
of
get
a
way too
shareable.
repetitive.
Right.
Yeah, in my opinion. Otherwise, it gets way too repetitive.
Fair. And I think that might be also why they released it within
A
stages.
college. Oh, and in stages, yeah.
Yes,
'Cause
you
college
played-
kids were the
now I
ones that
played
played this.
piece. Now I want to know the more story,
Yeah.
and I want to play
Yeah.
more of this because I haven't gotten to play it in a while. Give me more and more monsters. Okay, now here's the next iteration. We're playing it as like it's all together already.
Right.
It's almost like episodes coming out, like TV.
Yeah. And college kids, I think, played
played
it
it
probably
together.
communally. Yeah.
Yes.
So that was how it was done.
Absolutely. So I think
Or
that's kind of
7-year-old
more
or
what it was
whatever,
supposed to be
however-
for. Like,
or
well,
however
like,
old I was trying to show you how to play the
Yes.
video game as a baby.
right. But I think that's a lot of the video games from back then were definitely more of a sit on the couch and communally play a game together. Even if it was just like a first person, one person game. a lot of the
Yeah.
times you'd sit on the couch together and play, and it was like a
Yeah.
fun little thing for you guys to do. Nowadays, you're more so playing by yourself or you're playing online with others, and it's not quite as communal. It's a bit more competitive and less of something that you want to do together. I'd like to go back to that couch play. I think that'd be a lot more fun.
Yeah, that is how we did a lot of those. I don't like online gaming at all, so I just won't do that. But I know that's where it's all at now. But yeah,
I'm more
I
of
don't.
if I'm gonna play a game like that, I'm gonna play it where we're actually co-op and I'm playing with friends. I'm not gonna play with like strangers or anything like that.
Yeah.
So
So-
I'm with you on that one. No thanks.
Yeah, it definitely has its place. It definitely has its time. The thing I was realizing as we were doing this is that I'm more familiar with Doom 2 Hell on Earth than I am with the original Doom. The Hell on Earth one is the one that I think I probably played more as a kid than
Right.
this one. But still, it is something that I for sure played at some points. So,
And I do think, like, for me, like Doom 3, where it was like the graphics were coming in a lot more, there was a lot more story heavy within the game itself. That definitely pulled it out for
Yeah.
me.
sure.
With
Sure. And
Doom.
that was at least 10 years later was
Right.
Doom 3. So that is Doom from 1993. Cross it off the list. It is on the shelf. And for me, it's just barely on the shelf, but it's
It's like
there.
it's in the box, it's on the shelf, it's alive and well, and everybody should look at it.
Yeah. So that is the end of volume 3. Rachel, we have made it to the end
Holy cow.
of the volume.
It's crazy.
Any reflections that you have of all of our volume 3 encounters? Anything that you want to put a little linchpin in for what we've accomplished here on this particular volume?
No idea what I'm supposed to say to that.
I don't know either.
You always have something weird to say at the end of this part.
Well, I mean, we've gone through a lot of
We've
different
done a lot of different stuff.
Teleportations, a lot of time, a lot of space.
Yes.
The
Yes.
theme really truly turned out to be interdimensional travel
And going mad.
and losing your mind and going mad.
Right.
And Doom had both of those,
And
so I
it
think that
did,
it was
it did.
fitting that that was the main event.
I like
We didn't
it.
know that
It all
that
comes
was going to
together.
happen. Yeah. Yeah, going crazy, and yeah, it all came together. But feels like just yesterday that we were talking about 12 Angry Men.
Honestly, it
and
does.
Jim
It
Cotta.
really does, honestly.
But for those of you that are finding us just for the Doom episode, go back and all of Volume 3 is there, and Volume 2 and 1 are there too. We've got, the way that we are numbering this, we have 25 subjects, but way, way more episodes than that. But we've got, Volume 3 had a ton of stuff in it, from 12 Angry Men to Jim Cotta to Interstellar to South Park, Season 1, to The Holiday, to Doctor Who's first couple of episodes. There's just a ton of stuff in there for you to be able to kind of
Even the
dig
comics
through,
of
and
Avengers
Disassembled.
Disassembled.
Yeah, for sure. So there's a lot of stuff in there for you to be able to go back and look at the archive for. Be sure to subscribe and like and review and spread the word of the podcast, because while this is the end of Volume 3, Shelf Life will return in Volume 4 eventually. Well, the way that, for those of you that are kind of new to the podcast, we take a couple months at least off after each volume to kind of recoup and regroup and make more episodes, and then we'll unveil the new volume. We don't want it to be a podcast that is constantly there, and the length of our episodes tends to allow that to happen because they're hours long compared to the typical hour or typical podcast length. So we're not,
Gives you
we're
guys
not
time
really,
to catch up too.
yeah, we're not stymieing you on anything. You can catch up in the meantime. The other things, I guess, make sure to leave a review, subscribe, leave those 5-star reviews. If you have any errors or corrections, let us know about those too. Maybe we'll have some different episodes in the futures of different things that you guys want to chat about for any of the subjects that were covered in the volumes.
We could always see what your opinions are. I always like to check out what you guys think too, and whether you'd put it on the shelf, would you put it in the box, or
Rachel does. I don't give
are
a
you
shit.
throwing
what
it
you
away?
think, but yeah. I'm not going to be interacting with you parasocially, but Rachel might enjoy reading what you're doing.
Oh, I'll read it, and then I'll just laugh at it,
Yeah. For anybody that does kind of come to this and wants to disagree or anything like that, or truly gets mad or anything like that, or for people that want to, because this is the holiday time of year that this episode is coming out, you could always donate in the name of Shelf Life. I can't think of an interdimensional teleportation charity that you could give to, but I'm sure that there are ones out there that could be in the theme or in the vein of Volume 3 that you could think about. So
Right.
as well, when we think about donating for the show or donating to the show.
Yes.
So yes, that is the end of Volume 3. Make sure that Volume 3 is all crossed off the list, Rachel, because I don't want to come back here in like
I'm trying.
12 years and we're doing the fucking holiday again. That's for damn
yes.
sure.
My bad. Hold on. Okay, I think we're good.
Okay, perfect. So yes, Volume 4 will happen again, and we might get sucked into another time and space, another dimension.
How does that keep happening? We just keep fighting
Well,
more
I mean,
dimensions.
it happened, and yeah, we come in there,
We
but yeah,
opened it
there's
up, and now we just can't put it away.
a lot of big hitting stuff in Volume 4 on your way, so be ready for that. Rachel, anything else before we close off Volume 3 and Doom?
Just be careful that you're not opening portals to other dimensions.
Yeah, if you are experimenting on portals, if people start coming back insane, stop opening up the portals.
I would probably close that and just go. I think that one's done. That's done.
We're done. Yeah, we're done.
Yeah.
So yes, thank you for joining us throughout this journey of Volume 3 and for Volume 2 and 1 for that matter. But we will be back for Volume 4. Until then, I have been Kevin.
And I'm Rachel.
And this has been Shelf Life. We will see you
in the next one.
Well,
in the next dimension.
We'll see you in Volume 4. We'll see you
hey,
in
look,
Volume
a portal.
4.
I'm gonna go through there.
Oh, don't look up.